Oh, hey. So it's 12:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess it's Saturday, October 11th right now, depending on where you're at. If you're in the correct time zone, it's Saturday. Let's just go ahead and make some posts here. Everyone, late night stream. Wow, wowee. Come hang. Good evening, good morning, good whatever time it is for you. We got a weenie. Obviously, face like a weenie. How are we doing? Maybe I should post in probably a few other Discords as well. Although I'm sure people will pile in as they tend to do. Especially because it's late night. We never do this. This is so rare. This is a time slot I'm not usually in. I'm usually like streaming on, or I'm usually on someone else's panel at this point in time. But we gotta mix it up, you know? Sound off in the chat when you show up, and like the stream, by the way, on your way in, if you don't mind. If you don't mind liking, little stream likers. If we got some stream likers. Almighty Nate says you should hop on Verbal Combat. You think so? I can do that, Almighty Nate. Good to see you, by the way. Thank you for all the times you've helped me out over on Sarah's panel, giving me the time to speak my piece. Appreciate you. More on time than resto, yeah. You think we should do Verbal Combat before, and then maybe we'll open up a panel afterwards?
Well, I'll be quiet then.
Looks pretty stacked. Am I? Is there room? Can they do more than 10 people? Rob just joined. True. I'm supposed to be. Someone's setting up a debate with me and Dusty and Rob and TrippyCast. I mean, I guess I'll try.
Is on notice.
the thing is with that, right? It's I could go, I don't want my daughter to date a dude that listens to fucking emo metal because I think he's a bitch. It's a preferential question, so I could just go, yeah, I don't want her marrying one of those people that listen to emo metal. I think he's going to be a pussy. So it just comes down to a preferential argument. So if the preference just gets switched to race, it should apply in the same way logically.
Yeah, I mean that's
it's identification of a group.
Would everyone agree with that, right? That it's perfectly reasonable, and we could even say that it's okay for parents to make judgments about the type of person they want their daughter to marry.
Absolutely, yeah.
To do with race?
Yes.
Right. Well, I'm not asking about race. We're just
daughter to marry as dark of a black guy as possible, because then they'd be less discriminated against for being light-skinned. Yes.
Crazy? Are you crazy? Here's the point, though.
Yeah.
Like, there seems to be two parts to this question. One, should parents have any sort of preference whatsoever? And second, if we accept that they should race be part of that? Is that fair?
Yes.
So the precursor question is, do we all accept that they should have a preference?
Yes, I accept that. Yes,
I want my grandbabies to be darker than my daughter. Yes.
Okay, so then the question becomes like, is there something about race specific that means that they shouldn't have a preference suggesting that?
The discrimination of people because of light-skinned, yes.
You just discriminated and said you want a specific race. notice how you're
them to be
contradicting
darker
yourself.
than my daughter.
It's outside of the
way,
pump.
they'll be less discriminated against for being light-skinned. Yes.
I mean,
it's
I
still
doubt
a
it's
Okay, so
high
you're
rate.
discouraging away from
More
white
of
people
that.
and towards people of a darker skin shade. So you're
Just
you're
because the
on
black
our
community
team.
will be discriminated against them less. Yes.
It's an old saying, but birds of a feather flock
Clayton.
Okay,
together.
so you have a preference
that
that
carries over to
regards
race.
to race.
I think it's kind of normal.
No, he's saying that each race should have its own preference ingrained in it, and because he
Do I care about this
identifies,
enough? I
or
don't
sorry,
know.
she identifies as a black woman, 10th man identifies as a black woman, he would want his daughter to marry.
Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I might just open up my own panel. I feel like I'm probably just gonna get booted like almost immediately. I'm probably gonna, like, even if I win the debate, you know how it is.
Synth was making. And so, BA, you argued with Dark Synth on this. Do you think that families should discourage marrying outside of culture?
Outside of culture.
Oh, BA might be gone. Anyone else?
It depends on if they like eating cats and dogs.
so, yes.
If they like eating cats and dogs, you get them to choose the right culture.
You could just use
They're eating the
statistics.
cats, they're eating the dogs.
If my white daughter marries a black man, she's statistically more likely to get abused. She's statistically more likely to be walked out on for a pack of Newports.
He does
So-
race.
Specifically Newports?
I love the way
Is
you
that
put
what
that
we're
so
going with?
delicately. I love how delicate how delicate you fucking just smashed down on the whole.
Actually, just a fun fact. Apparently, new animations, cool. Oh, hey Kelly, good to see you. I'm glad that your like cursive name shows up in my custom overlay. That's kind of neat. I was thinking about hopping on this, but I'm leaning against it now. Racism is, yeah, literally.
Dark Synth was getting close to making this argument. Race and culture are inexorably intertwined. That even if you have, like, for example, let's say theoretically, there's a black person who is my neighbor who seems at face value to go to the same church as me, to tailgate the same football games, etc., that there are still going to be cultural differences at the end of the day that are biologically inherent based on the fact that we come from different races. For example, you could say, I will never know what it's like to be a black person because I'm not black. So that would mean that there's some at least slight cultural differences. So if we accept that they should discourage...
Isn't it true that because he's talking about JS was talking about the black husband being more likely to leave for Newports or whatever fucking insane racist thing he just said. But like, isn't it true that black men are actually more likely to be involved, like per capita, they're like more likely to be involved in their kid's life? Yeah, race is absolutely a social construct. Yeah. Don't jump in the sleigh with the pigs. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. We'll do our own payout. We can do our own shit. We can do something better, you know? All love to Almighty Nate who suggested we go there, but I'm just not feeling it. Black Americans have more in common with whites than Africans. Probably true. JS has been surprisingly openly racist tonight. Disappointing. But not incredibly surprising, unfortunately. What in the holy fuck? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, you heard all that, right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I thought so. We're gonna do our own panel. Fuck it. Here. Can't catch a break. Yeah. Look. StreamYard link is pinned. If anyone wants to hop up, you know the drill. We're gonna go for a bit. I don't know how long. I almost didn't stream tonight. I woke up like not long ago, and I was like, I kind of want to go back to sleep, but I'd rather just like stream a bit and chat with you guys. We're reaching a whole different audience. Umbreon, you are chewing on my hand. That is unacceptable. You guys see this guy? He's trying to eat my hand. No hand eating. You really want to bite the hand that feeds you? Literally? Shame on you. Joey says, "Shit, I'm snuggled up right." Well, me too. See. Oh, he's a good boy. People align with ethnic groups, not race. Sure, that makes sense. We got the care react. Love the care reacts. You too can use the care react. He is such a good boy, even when he bites my hands. You too can use a care react with a Radical Coder channel membership. You can have access to the infamous care react or the baby Umbreon celebrating the baby boy. The Rubik's Cube, the spam emote. So many great emotes. We love our emotes. We love our members. We love our chatters as well. We love our stream likers. Hi, Steel Man. You ready to hop up and complain about Abe? Kelly with the $4.99 super sticker. Yo, thank you so much, Kelly. That is an adorable Nintendo controller that's sad and has a broken arm. What happened to it? Was it overused? Disappointing. Poor thing. Let's turn the heat up. Yeah. Hey, Garuda. Yo, Kelly kicking off. Setting the stage. Thank you so much. Well, the stage is also open for anybody. Well, almost anybody. Within reason. We are radically open. Open with boundaries, as they say. Yes, thank you again. We will get many treats. Timecat says, "Yay, my favorite faux hawk. Much love from me and Timecat in Alberta, Canada." Thank you, Timecat. Both of you. Friggin' ad. What'd you get an ad for? Michelle Hunt with the 139 Canadian super sticker with devil horns. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all your help. One of the best mods in the game, Michelle Hunt. Yeah, I don't remember. It was either the Trib or Testy Johnson or Kissy Cat. All three of them gifted 5 memberships apiece this morning. But yeah, thank you, Michelle. And congratulations, Timecat. Enjoy your emotes. Enjoy the best emotes in the game. Driving with a seat belt. I don't know what that means, Jelly. I don't know what you're saying. We got a whiny wiener, huh? You gonna be crying all night? Kelly says, "I'm not mad at people that don't want to race mix, but they don't have to be offensive." True. Yeah, I would assume it's seatbelt, but I mean, I don't know. She could be making some other reference. Yeah, it's such like a weird thing to like. It's like the opposite of virtue signaling. It's vice signaling. Like they're like bragging. Yo, animated effigy.
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Decided to continue my hiatus from Verbal Combat. Another week. Just got to take a break sometime from being ganged up by right-wingers.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot, and like, I feel like we need to maybe foster a slightly different space, and I'm happy to help contribute to that.
I think that's why I've been on Sarah's panels a little more. Even it's still debate, but it doesn't make me feel as, I'm not sure what the word would be. Every time I go on VAK, I'm on there for a very short time. I always get knocked off.
Yeah.
Even that's even with me being essentially the chat's favorite lefty.
Yeah.
Because I do all the graphics for VK. But it can get a little like repetitive after a while to where you're like, yeah, I understand I'm stepping into an echo chamber arena. I'm coming here to fight, but still.
Yeah.
No, I just want to take a break.
Well, enjoy your break. Welcome to the chill zone, I guess. For now. We'll see if we go off the rails.
Glad to be chilling.
Yeah. Timecat says Sarah does great at moderating. For the most part, I agree with that. Although she definitely is biased, but that's okay. We do have a low coder emoji. That's my AI persona. All the AI music that I play on this channel is produced by low coder, controversial artist.
Is he gonna drop that next album?
Yeah, we're working on it. Kelly says Sarah has lefties, right? I mean, she has me and Effigy.
She has a few that jump on panel, and her chats definitely alter more than others.
Yeah,
and they can definitely be swayed by whose audience is in there with them. I have seen chats on Sarah's panels where they've been predominantly lefty, and I don't see that in other right wing debate spaces.
Yeah.
But no, she's kind of I wouldn't say center right. She's more right than center right, but she's not like a foaming at the mouth right winger, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think any kind of like strong-willed woman can be, to tell you the truth. Because I mean, Sarah's been called a feminist plenty of times, and she's like, "No, I'm not." And then she's like, "But I just want to do my thing." And they're like, "Well, that's feminist."
That's feminism. Yeah, you wanting to have free will as a woman is feminism. That's crazy. Yeah, Kelly says I'm on the right. Yeah, you would also be Kelly. You would definitely qualify as a feminist in these psychos, even as a right winger. Garuda says I disagree with everyone, so I make the best moderator. Well, come on up and moderate this heated debate between me and Effigy.
Oh God. Garuda moderated nothing last time he was up.
That's true. Yeah, feminism. They use feminism as a slur. That's true.
Yeah, I saw Angelica in the chat. Angelica, you were based as fuck last time you were on.
Yeah, Jelly's great. Let's see. Don't start. Kelly says, I don't like Pearl. Does anybody like... I feel like even Pearl's fans don't like Pearl.
Yeah, isn't she supposed to be on Sarah's panel in like a week or so?
Is she really? Oh, I'm going to go fight with just Pearly things? Hell yeah. Let's go.
Oh, I'm going to be there for that one, for sure.
This is long overdue. I feel like I think I was invited a long time ago by someone to go on one of her panels or something, but... I don't remember why I didn't do it.
That girl is... She needs to be somebody's case study in something. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's always really interesting to me when people en masse take advice from a person who obviously has no experience in the area that they are talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like none. Girl trying to sit here and tell you about marriage when she's barely had a relationship or two at all.
Yeah, it's like Myron from Fresh and Fit. He's like, I think he might be dating someone now, but like back when I don't know, when back when like Destiny used to go on there and stuff. At least I know, like he said multiple times that he's like in his mid-30s and he's had like one relationship that was a year long or less. It's like, dude, you do a podcast about dating,
right?
Like you do a fucking dating podcast. What are you talking about?
It seems like half these people create these shows and these panels and stuff more as therapy than anything else, therapy for themselves.
Yeah,
because they're so pissed at something like that.
Yeah, it feels like Brian from Whatever is another good example of that. Kelly says Myron's ex said they never had sex. Well, I I will not comment on that, but
the funniest Myron clip to me will forever be that one where he was with that group of white guys and he said "we." Like that to me, that's the funniest clip. That gives me the most insight into his personality.
Oh man, they don't see you as part of the team, bro. Yikes. They're a network for incels. Yeah, basically. Watching Fresh and Fit, whatever, Fugazi, can you imagine what this podcast rooms smell like? Probably not good. Melanie says, what is this lefty circle jerk? I know, it's disgusting. We need some pushback from other lefties, maybe. Okay, Umbreon's giving his pushback. No, I'm not playing with you. I'm playing with my online friends.
Well, if you want some spicy racial takes, I can point you in the right direction.
Oh God, I'm so good. I'm so good on that. Kelly says, I like Andrew Tate, though. That's a crazy take.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, maybe you can get trafficked by him, too.
Equal opportunity. Andrew Tate is a man baby who can fight, says Garuda.
Yeah, it's not anybody can give you good advice. It's the bad advice that you need to focus on.
Yes, that's exactly.
You know, Jordan Peterson telling you to clean your room is okay, but it's all the other shit that he says that's fucking weird. Same thing with Andrew Tate. Like, yeah, go work out. Great. It's all the other shit that he says.
Couldn't pay me. You could try, though. By the way, you guys can all try. You can give me money, and I might clean my room. They never were convicted, says Kelly. What say you, Effigy?
I mean, where did they go to court? Romania?
I think so. And then, has it been confirmed that Trump like pressured them to send him to Florida or whatever, or was there just like court cases that they had to do in Florida? Because I know even Ron DeSantis was like, get these fucking guys out of here. Which was like...
Well, they're always going to try and have people in their own circles put in courts where they have the majority or at least are friendly to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when I brought up the fact that there was video of him bragging and the implication that he had slept with a 15-year-old in Romania, somebody was just like, yeah, but it's not illegal there. I'm like, okay.
Oh man, that's like the worst defense.
Like, who's the relativist now, guys?
It's actually legal there, so that's such a self-report. That's a crazy thing to say. Garuda says Jordan Peterson cries more than a chick who cries when they get prom queen. I feel like one of the few times that Jordan Peterson is endearing is when he's getting a little choked up. To be honest, as a guy who gets a little choked up from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's a complete asshole, right? Like Jordan Peterson has some decent things that he says, and he can have some really genuine moments. That's for sure. But I just. Ever since that whole hullabaloo with the trans law, the pronouns law, and him having that big confrontation with students, and him leaving the university, I think ever since that he's kind of found a kind of grifting angle in the right wing. So I feel he's more pretending. I do not believe that dude is a Christian. Like having watched a lot of his stuff and the way he approaches it, having seen him confronted multiple times on what he believes, I genuinely think he's grifting Christians.
It's possible. I mean, I really feel like it was so obvious that the whole like Bill C-16 thing was like a grift. Like he was just flat out fucking lying about that. Like all you had to do was like Google it and like learn like that it was already a thing that was like it was already established in like every Canadian province or whatever, and they just like made it federal. It didn't even like actually change the law or anything.
Yeah.
I won't pay the fine and they'll lock me up and they'll put me in a cage and poke me with a stick. He said Christ is King is anti-Semitic. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, he just says some weird stuff that I never hear any other Christian say. And then his answer to like atheists denying God, who's like, well, I'm not sure atheists even know what they're denying. And everyone just kind of like cocks their head like, huh?
It's like, well, what are you affirming? What does that mean? His books point to incompetence in psychology, not just my opinion, and follows the story of someone who got carried through academia via privilege, says Melanie. Maybe.
Didn't he have some like huge episode recently?
I think he's hospitalized right now.
Yeah. Something about mold or something.
Yeah. That shit can really fuck you up. I had family who was in a house that had mold problems, and it was caused all sorts of health problems. So I do have some sympathy for that. That's like nasty shit. Mold will fuck you up if you have to live somewhere with like an undiscovered mold situation. It's bad.
Well, between the mold thing and his I only eat beef diet.
That's a crazy thing. And like, his daughter used to run, I don't know if she still does, like I don't know if it was her Patreon or whatever, but it was like, oh, pay me $50 and I'll tell you about how to eat nothing but steak. Like, I think I could figure it out on my own if I was going to do that, you know? How to eat nothing but meat. I don't know. Just really need someone to walk me through
the grift is all that matters to some people.
Yeah. Garuda says, I eat a hyper carnivore diet. Is that so? Can you teach me? Or do you have to charge?
Does that mean you run down animals and kill them with your bare hands and then eat them on the spot?
The hyper carnivore. Hell yeah. That's hardcore. Good to see you, Christine. Oh yeah, his daughter was did date Andrew Tate, didn't she? Or was that did that ever turn out to be true? I've heard mixed things, I feel like. Garuda says, I've eaten fish alive before. That's crazy. Why? Why?
You trapped on an island or something?
Yeah, like on some Castaway shit. Fuzzy and I are busy watching Love is Blind. Wow. I see how it is.
And you didn't invite us.
That's crazy. Michelle says, Andrew Tate sexually assaulted Lauren Southern. That is allegedly true. It does seem to be true.
Oh, when did that happen?
You're not aware about this?
No, I had never heard that.
She wrote about it in her book, and she released that chapter online for free, so that she was like, I don't want this specific thing to like drive sales of my book, but like here's the story. Basically, Tommy Robinson and her went to some thing somewhere. I don't know where they went to meet up with Andrew Tate and a bunch of like crypto scam folks. This was like a long time ago. This is like when Lauren Southern was like 20, like 21, 22 or something, I think. She was really young. Yeah, they went to this thing to like, it was supposed to be some right-wing media establishing thing, but it was really just like a crypto grift. And Andrew allegedly put something in her drink. She suspects, because she had one drink and then she felt like super loopy, and then eventually she ended up like, she went back to like a hotel room with him, and she was like falling asleep, and he was he started kissing her, and then she apparently kissed him back briefly, and then was like, "No, I want to go to sleep," and then I mean, you can. She says she woke up intermittently, begging him to stop, basically, but he did not. That's Lauren Southern's story, and I frankly believe that. Yeah. Kelly says that's insane. People lie all the time. I mean, I think Lauren lies a lot, but I don't know.
I mean, you got to be pretty devoted to a lie to put it in your book that you're publishing, right?
Yeah. Also, like, what does she have to gain from that specific? Like, it's such a, like, I don't think she's yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and also, would we really put it past the character of someone who basically lures young women into his country and then basically keeps them there to do sex work for him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't that how the dude got rich?
Yeah, exactly. Like, he bragged about how
fighting. Well, mostly fighting.
Yeah, true. Besides that, Melanie says she can be a victim isolated from the victim community because she alienated them well ahead of time. I mean, that's fair. She has book sales to gain, I guess, but like she literally released that like separately. I know people write lies in books. Like, why are you so convinced that it's not true? Like, I don't know. It's not out of. It doesn't seem out of character with everything we know about Andrew Tate. Yeah, even bad people can be a victim of harm. Exactly.
Yeah, come on, Melanie. Be like Jesus. Love your enemies.
I mean, that's fine, Kelly. You don't have to believe her. I mean, I do, but what does it change? You know, it doesn't. It's not. What is my opinion or yours on the matter? Really, I mean, it is what it is. Different priors, maybe.
Yeah, it's all just a giant group of grifters and gross people.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep proving it over and over and over.
For real. We need some pushback here. We need some not necessarily. I don't know. I don't want to like foster like a crazy right winger space, you know, which I don't think I will at this point. I think we're starting to see my audience used to be like all right wing. I like the only people who used to watch me were like far to my right and would just fucking just berate me in my chat all day, which was kind of fun because I like fighting with my chat, but it's getting way more wholesome. Gia says, did she self-publish her book? I don't think she's lying. She could be sued for lying or about something like that. That's true. That's a good point. Kelly, the claim was now the believe all women thing was always like a bastardization. It was like the hashtag even back in the day was just like hashtag believe women, which is kind of different. It was.
Look, the problem is twofold. Number one, lefties always make slogans that are emotional first. And two, right wingers take everything from a maximalist position. So when they hear like Black Lives Matter, they're like, Black lives can't matter more than mine. You know, yeah. They have to think it maximally matters. Therefore, it's making us matter less. Or when they're like, believe all women, they can't take it as take women's claims seriously about sexual assault. It has to be every woman has to have default truth put on all their claims. Like it always has to be these maximalist positions.
Mm-hmm.
No nuance in fundamentalist thinking.
Yeah, is Lauren Southern not a legal man in Canada? Legal male in Canada, says Garuda. I don't know if that's true still, but yeah, she did allegedly change her gender or her sex or whatever on her, like legally through whatever channels there were. Kelly says it's sus to me when people put stuff in books but they don't press charges. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess it's reasonable to be suspicious, but pressing charges, that's a whole different animal.
Plus, knowing her, she probably thought it would hurt her brand.
True. Oh, yeah, it did happen. I don't think it happened in America. Where did it happen? Hang on. Let's see. Where did Andrew Tate allegedly assault Lauren Southern? Yeah, there's also statute of limitations. I don't know if we're past that, but it has been many years. That is kind of whack. Kelly says, I think it's sus when people wait 20 years. Like, you went this long, stay silent. I don't know about all that. Okay, yeah, it was in Romania, in a Bucharest hotel room in 2018.
Well, there you go. In Bucharest.
Well, maybe it was legal there.
Who knows? Obviously, sleeping with 15-year-olds is
what?
Romania. Well, that's what you said. It's Romania, like we said. Fucked up shit is legal there, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Well, isn't that like what Andrew said? Like why he moved there or whatever it was. I mean, not necessarily for that specifically, but about their laws being looser and stuff.
Yeah. And I think basically what that means is my money can sway law enforcement there.
Mm-hmm. Which only seems to have worked for so long because wasn't he facing charges in Romania specifically?
Yeah, they got scooped up a few times.
Mm-hmm. What? What do you want? What else is going on in the world? Have you been following the Operation Inflation protests?
Where those happen?
Everywhere, I guess, but probably primarily like Chicago, Portland.
Is that what they're called?
Well, people are wearing these giant inflatable.
Oh, okay, that inflation. Okay, yes. You know what I'm talking about. I love that. I love that. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, me too.
Because right now the propaganda machine is trying to paint us as these scary monsters. So the more Black Bloc looks like crazy anarchists, the more footage they're going to give Fox News. But if you can put something silly like an inflatable blow-up costume or a clown costume or anything like that in any of those frames of footage, you will pretty much stop propaganda machines like Fox News from being able to use that footage. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but the past week, Fox News has gotten caught using footage from an old Florida protest and a South American protest saying that this is like images from Portland and shit like that. So it's to me, it's already working.
Yeah.
So I'm all about it.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Yeah, it is really hard to. I played I think the Daily Show made this video, but it's like a supercut of like Trump and Pam Bondi and Stephen Miller talking about the violence allegedly happening in Portland, and then it's just cutting to like people in frog costumes like doing the cha-cha slide and shit.
Yeah, that's been infuriating. I've been on panels this past week and a half, with so many people saying, "Haven't you seen what's happening in Portland, effigy?" And then I cut to like a video from there, and I'm like, I'm looking at it right now. They're literally just standing around, you know. And then I see people protesting outside of the ICE thing, and then I see a pastor get shot in the head with a pepper ball for no reason other than like protesting outside of the ICE facility.
Melanie says, "Effigy, stop being a mindless hype man, both of you." What are you talking about, Melanie? What are we mindlessly hyping? What, the inflation thing? I think it's important. Like I don't know, like you might disagree tactically. But I think it's valuable to like make it look as absurd as it is. But apparently the guy in the frog costume got they pepper sprayed him down the costume, which is crazy. All right, here we go. All right, what's your beef? What's your beef, Mel? Why do you hate inflation costumes?
All right, Miss Contrarian, what's up?
Can't hear you.
I don't know why StreamYard defaults to voice meter now. I don't know how to change that. Anyway,
well, we can hear you now.
So is the point to actually like do something and accomplish something, or is the point to like say like I was there and feel special for being there? Because if it's the latter, then like fine, great, keep doing what you're doing. If it's the former, then we might actually want to be threatening to the fascist and not
get some water.
How they portray us, because that ends up being a no-win scenario where either we're silent and we're ineffective, which is just as useful to them, by the way, or they just portray us negatively no matter what we do. It's a no.
I don't think it is being silent and ineffective.
Oh, okay.
I think sitting there looking like that, making yourself visibly less threatening because of the absurdity of it, and then them still enacting the same amount of violence on you paints the picture better than a bunch of lefties looking like black bloc, scary people all in black and being goaded into doing crazy shit so that Fox News can have more footage to show their audience to keep proving that. I think it's a tactic, and I think it's a pretty good tactic.
If
they're in an accelerationist mindset. Like this isn't like we've done before.
They're going to accelerate either way. They're going to accelerate in the face of no opposition, or they're going to accelerate in the face of opposition. That's
well, just because people are wearing costumes doesn't mean they don't have opposition.
Yeah, it kind of does.
A person in a frog costume can still pick up a brick and send it through a window, right?
But then they're still just as likely to end up in the same scenario. This is what I mean, is that it's a feel-good kind of thing, but it doesn't actually prevent anything. The person getting pepper sprayed in the frog costume, as terrible as it was, is evidence of that. It's not an actual tactic.
But you just said yourself it was the same. It's a tactic for optics. It's you wearing the frog costume isn't going to change the mind of the ICE agent, right?
And we can't win on optics. The left has never won on optics.
But we can sabotage their optics. We can sabotage their optics every time they try to show it on Fox News and try to show these scary liberals doing shit. Oh, no, they are. That's what I'm saying. They're having to use footage from other protests, and we're getting to catch them lying. They showed footage from a protest that had palm trees the other day, and they were calling it Portland.
What do you think matters more to them? Being portrayed as liars or quelling effective protests that may actually get in the way of their plans?
I mean, we're doing both, though.
Do you think being an effective liar matters to them? Do you think that they care if they actually convince people, or if they can just get enough people to repeat their lie such that it makes people think that, oh, okay, well, clearly some portion of the population believes this, and so if we fight this, we're also fighting the people, and we as feckless neoliberals can never fight the people because we don't know how to actually operate within a framework of consumerism, neoliberalism, or capitalism, because those are the things we as neoliberals stand for. So as a leftist, what I have to say to that is optics is where you actually will lose, because you've been playing on optics for decades now. Look at Occupy, look at everything since the civil rights movement. Anything that's been real direct action has been effective. Anything that's cared about optics basically gets swept under the rugs, and the system keeps doing whatever it's going to keep doing. You're playing into the hand of fascists.
I disagree.
Well, when are you going to start doing a new strategy? Because optics is not working.
Optics are just one part of things that go on. It's not just the only thing. This isn't Occupy. This isn't just sitting in a place to be seen.
So, but again, when do you start caring more about other things than optics?
Why are you assuming I'm only caring about optics?
Well, no, I'm saying I am admitting that there are other things, but I'm quantifying that you care. Neoliberals in particular, and people like you who care more about peaceful protest and actual effective protest, tend to say like, oh, we need to worry about optics first and then everything else. And my question is, okay, well, let's say they've set everything up so that way you can't win with optics. Are you just going to keep doing optics like a bit of an idiot?
You keep couching this as though you can only have one or the other. That's just one aspect of the things they're doing.
I keep saying that you keep putting optics as a top priority over everything else.
I never said it was a top priority. We just started talking about the costumes.
All I'm asking is, when do you start prioritizing anything else over optics?
Like what?
Direct action, social justice.
Is there not direct action now?
No.
What would you call direct action?
Standing in the streets does not lead to a direct action. A direct action is an outcome you are seeking that you get through the means of action. Therefore, if I occupy a tree that's going to be cut down and it doesn't get cut down because I am in the tree, sure, I am breaking law. Sure, it might even be bad optics, but I've now prevented a tree from getting cut down. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So what would you suggest?
Something more tactical than this.
Because they're already surrounding ICE facilities, right? They're already trying to block vans with their bodies, right?
Do you think that doing trends on TikTok is going to actually get us further? What do you think Gil Scott-Heron meant when he said the revolution will not be televised?
That the real work is not done for show, and I agree with that. But it doesn't mean that in this world that we live in, where everyone has a camera, that optics don't matter.
They seem to be mattering less and less than with the more cameras people have. The Trump administration is proof of that. They have horrible optics and seem to be accumulating more and more power. So I don't think optics is a winning strategy anymore. I think it's a fool's errand to continue.
I think it's a straw man to sit there and say that optics is the only thing that people care about.
It's
just one aspect of the things that are going. How is it a sunken cost when it's just basically what you're wearing to the protest?
For Democrats who have been telling people to Pokemon goals to go to the polls this whole time as if it's an actual form of fascism, anti-fascism. It's not, by the way. No anti-fascism has ever successfully happened at the polls.
I don't know about that. I think like the first thing that we do with fascists is not vote them in the power.
Right,
like that's like
not allowing fascists to like control the polls would be definitely an anti-fascist.
But you failed at that now, right? You failed, and now you're just stuck in this. You're stuck in your old habits of like, oh well, we need optics to actually win at the polls, but that's not direct action. And you're in like this.
Once again, what do you suggest then? Since you seem to want something more radical.
Well, first of all, there are actually many levels, but there are 3 levels of organization that matter within militarization that we can apply to us as leftists. There is strategy, logistics, and tactics. And they kind of occur. Strategy is the overarching thing. Logistics happens in between, and tactics is your lowest level, your most like immediate situational type thing. Do you understand where I'm going with this?
Sure, but optics only.
So as a strategy, we would shift away from optics as a priority and move towards direct
optics is not a priority. You're making this huge straw man that you just keep sucking the dick of.
Okay.
So like that's what you're doing.
If optics isn't a priority, then these suits really don't accomplish anything.
No, all the suit is some clothes that they're wearing to the thing that they had already planned.
Because it's a TikTok
protest is the strategy, right? The surrounding of the ICE facility, the putting your bodies in front of the vans, that's the strategy.
So there's
it's just an optical tactic to wear a costume instead of the fucking black block, all black, scary fucking thing, right?
It's a tactic. So tactics usually employ a maneuver to either give you an advantage or take away an advantage of your opponent. How is that doing either of those?
Because it takes away the advantage they have on propaganda to be able to use the footage.
No, it doesn't. They just lie anyways. They'll lie either way. It doesn't matter to them. They get power either way. So again, how does that actually get in their way?
I mean, yeah, but would they get caught in the lie?
They don't care. They keep moving
They
forward.
don't care, but someone does care. The people in the middle care. Even if we can peel off any of them, that's a little bit more people that we have on the democracy side and not the fascist side.
They don't care about direct action. So even if you peel them off, they're just going to stand and be like, we need to peacefully protest.
Well, then aren't you being fucking fatalist? You still have not said anything about what they could do.
I'm so afraid of breaking a window because it might make a fascist cry. Oh no.
I don't think that's why people don't want you to attack windows. Like I think it's more about the reaction from the fascists that like
right. We kind of saw what happens when the entire left gets painted with riots, right? That's what BLM did, right? That's been hung around our neck for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Right. And we weren't even the reason for half that violence. We have so much evidence of provocateurs and Boogaloo Boys shooting cops and all kinds of shit that was used to blame us, but no one fucking talks about that.
When it was brought up to you, you tried to justify it. When it was brought up to me, I pointed out that cops create riots. So if you want to be mad at anyone, be mad at the police. You see what the difference is there? You placate them by being like, oh yeah, I guess Black Lives Matter shouldn't have done that. And there are better forms of protest that they should have done. Oh, it's so convenient to, I'm such a special person who has really good ideas. Whereas I'm like, nah, fuck that. You're being misled. You can't figure it out. I don't give a shit what you think. We shouldn't give this shit about what people think who are misled. That's going to mislead us.
I don't think I agree with that.
Okay.
But
it's the blind leading the blind, but whatever.
Maybe.
No offense against blind people, of course, but just it's a very old saying in that sense, and it didn't age well, but it's a very applicable here.
Not the ableism, bad optics.
No, I'm still trying to wonder because you actually haven't said a fucking thing yet of what you are actually advocating for. You just
I can just easily say that too, right? So neither of you, effigy. Have a good night.
Okay.
Mel. Mel, even though you piss me off, I will still defend you when you're not around when people are taking shots.
Real. Yeah. I mean, like...
I just don't get it. Like, so if we go to one of the most successful protest movements in history, right? Because I do consider the civil rights protests against fascism. Their strategy was nonviolence, right? Like mostly nonviolent. You can't say it was completely nonviolent, but I just don't get what you're advocating for. Like, it seems like you're like, hey, let's just break shit and make ourselves scary, which is, I guess, adjacent to kind of what Destiny has been getting so much shit about when he was saying that conservatives should be afraid because only fear of violence will make you not encourage violence. But I just don't see that as a winning tactic. I think overwhelming protest is the real way to do it, and we just need critical mass for that. It's not going to be how violent our protests get that determine if we're going to win or not. Anyone can do that. Fucking people riot after fucking sports events, right? Like it.
Kelly, stop
just
misgendering
confused
Mel.
with the.
We don't do misgendering here. Renee, I cannot read your messages. Why are you doing this to me? But reminder, you can all control how your chat colors and text colors and stuff look. You have the power.
I do think it's important to show, or at least not give the propagandists space, or at least some foothold in reality, because a lie goes down easier when you have truth mixed in with it. So if you force them to make the lie whole lies, I think it's easier to break the spell on some people, and we have been seeing that. Like when Jesse fucking Waters on Fox News a few days ago brings up his quote unquote ex Antifa dude, and we all just quickly scan the old Fox News footage and find out it's the same guy he brought up like years ago after the Derek Chauvin thing, and we're it's obviously a fucking producer on Fox News pretending. That's important. Like, calling that shit out is important. And I know it's not going to convince any diehard people, but everyone on the right is not a diehard anything, right? They're only that 30 some odd % is. And if you can peel off people from the middle, that's all you need. The country can sway off that center mass moving to one side.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's not as doesn't feel as like radical and exciting maybe as throwing bricks through windows or whatever.
Right, and people in general, like the normies, they tend to recoil from any kind of extremism.
Yeah,
like you would think that Mel would get this, because the right has done a pretty fucking crazy job at convincing a lot of people that the left's like sex positivity and inclusivity is extreme and radical when it's not. It's just trying to extend humanity to another group.
Real quick, shout out Elite Eater. I didn't see that was dono because I was looking at my overlay, but thank you. Elite Eater for $5 says, correct, Destiny is wrong. Some righties will be scared, but others, it will only embolden them more, make it more real to them. Hawaiian shirty boys. Yeah,
I think people completely misunderstood what he said just because they hate Destiny.
Yeah,
like he wasn't saying that we should make them afraid. He's saying that because normal people are afraid of violence, they don't encourage it. And he wants the right to be there where we are, which is being afraid of violence. Therefore, we don't encourage it. He was just really pissed when he said it, and it made it sound like, oh, that's been the biggest thing, is that people just taking shit like and just completely misinterpreting it constantly lately. Yeah, like the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Agree. Jimmy Kimmel did not say what anyone said he said, like at all in any universe, but they still just went with it. Mm-hmm. It's like we are living in fucking 1984 right now, like double speak, party speak. It's all just so topsy turvy.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good, Kelly. Yeah, I was just correcting the record. I wasn't sure. Some of you right wingers do that shit intentionally, and I can't. I just assume I'm bigoted against right wingers. What can I say? But yeah, no, I agree. Like I've been, I hate to do it, but I will be out there defending Destiny for that. I mean, I didn't even actually listen to like the full context of that. I just knew when I heard people talking about it. I just because I know I followed Destiny for so long. I just know what he was saying, like the sentiment he was getting across.
He said it like right before that sentence. He said, "I disavow all political violence," but he wishes that right wingers were afraid of violence the same way that everyone else is. Like that was the entire context of it, and they just ran completely opposite with it.
Yep. Yeah, and as I like every time it's come up, I've pointed out like right now, like you said, like normal people, people who are paying attention, like we are scared. We are already scared of violence. We see it happening, we see it escalating, and we're like, hey, this is bad, this is scary, this is concerning, like this is getting out of hand. And the right is just like, well, it's Civil War time. The Democrats are domestic terrorists anymore.
Like when we don't have a shared objective reality, even with the fucking dictionary. Like, that's a scary place to be.
Yeah. Kelly says, I just feel like everyone should follow the laws. Well, I mean, the president's not following the laws. like not to say that should be met with, like, equal, like, non-abiding of laws. Like, that's not necessarily the exact response, like, but, like, we have to, like, be for real about what we're facing, right? Like ICE,
but they have to understand. Like I understand that they're the law and order party, but you have to understand if you take order to its like final end, you have totalitarianism. Order is not always good, right? Like if someone was like, no, breaking the laws are bad, therefore we're gonna make a task force and hunt down every human being who has sped in their car or run a stop sign. We're gonna hunt you down with masked police because you broke a law. We would all agree, like, yeah, that's too much order, you know?
Exactly.
And that's what it feels like. We have a bunch of people who have essentially had which was up until Trump, the lawful equivalent of a parking ticket of crossing a border, and people are making secret police to manhunt them. They didn't murder people when they crossed a border. It's an imaginary line. We get that they're undocumented, and that's a problem. But going this far and nearly breaking the Constitution to hunt them down is beyond the pale. It does not warrant that amount of shit unless you're a fucking racist.
Yeah, I agree. And Cody says, I saw Wilson was debating John Fugelsang on the Tomato. You aren't old enough to remember him, as he's a host of VH1, and I think he hosted America's Got Talent in the beginning. What were they fighting about? Did they just?
Well, no, it's upcoming.
Oh, it's upcoming. Okay.
Yeah. I know Andrew's going to be debating Dr. Richard Carrier at DebateCon, and I'm very interested in that one. because Richard Carrier is one of the preeminent mythicist scholars for the Jesus is a myth argument.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting. I'm hoping to go to DebateCon, by the way, but I got to raise money for it. So if you want to see me at DebateCon or at the events surrounding DebateCon, please support the stream, support the dream, support the ween. If you cannot support with your funds, you can also support with your thumbs, like the stream.
Hey man, if you go to DebateCon, we'll have to hang out because I live in Nashville.
Oh really? Hell yeah, dude! I would love that. Absolutely. It's like I think it's like a 9-hour drive or something. 8 or 9 hour drive. It's not too far. I'm from Florida, where I'm at.
Interesting town.
I don't know if I've ever been to Nashville specifically.
It's way more liberal than I thought it was. Yeah. Way more.
Gritus is how much to give you to flip a table. I don't know. We can start low and we'll see, and keep giving me money until I feel convinced. I don't know if I'm actually gonna go to like the real debate, the modern day debate, because their tickets are like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah,
which is crazy. I mean, I guess if I maybe it's my mistake for not staying in contact with James. Like I never responded last time he reached out to me for a debate, but I was just, like super not interested in the topic. Some like feminism bad? Is feminism killing men? I don't know. Is feminism kidnapping men and waterboarding them or something like that? Whatever the topics are.
Nakoti, yeah. Yeah, the rest of Tennessee is fucking wild. Like we have a hole being bored into the middle of downtown by Elon Musk's boring company that the entire city was like, no, we don't want this, and they were just letting them do it. The state is.
Gatlinburg's in Tennessee, right? Yeah, I've been to Gatlinburg and like Pigeon Forge when I was like a young buck. Just a reminder, everyone, there is also a StreamYard link. If you want to come fight with me or Effigy, you can do so. Give us some pushback. Raiders Cat, good to see you. Good to see you. Raiders Cat says Michelle Hunt is stinky. It's crazy. Crazy to say. Huge if true.
I would just love to go to DebateCon to see if all these super tough right-wing debate bros are like under 4 feet tall.
True. There was probably a lot of shorties. We love our short kings, though. We love our short kings. This is not an anti-short king stream.
Just saying, I smell a whole lot of Napoleon complex sometimes when I'm debating.
Mm-hmm. As a 6-foot Giga Chad myself, we can smell it. Crazy to height shame. Listen.
Yeah, I was being shitty.
Women like short kings, okay? It's all good. Michelle has confirmed the stinky allegations. Just hit the gym, bro, then bones go longer. Grow them bones longer. The debate stuff is kind of fun, but TBH, we gotta do better. Yeah. Well, what do you suggest, Renee? I mean, I'm trying. Like this morning, my stream, we were just learning about like all the stuff going on, learning about the Letitia James indictment, like learning about all the ICE protest stuff, like covering different events. I mean, just trying to follow.
I kind of agree with that too. I've kind of hit a wall on it. Like after doing it for a while, you just kind of realize that it really is just a blood sport. Like there's no one cares about changing a mind. It's really just about winning in the moment and dunking on people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets kind of tiresome.
It is exhausting. But I don't know. There's Yeah, Ryan, stop debating. No, I will not. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I can't
same.
stop.
I can't stop. I am infuriated by things going on in the world, and I have to yell at someone. So it might as well be someone who disagrees with me.
Hell yeah, that's the spirit. You should be playing Battlefield. What are you doing with your lives? Not playing Battlefield, that's for sure. Joseph, the fact that you want us to stop debating is just more encouragement to actually keep debating, frankly.
I think the thing that's most tiresome is that after having been doing this for a little over a year now, I've run into so many people who are simply regurgitating language they've heard from the same like 3 debaters. That the repetition, one of my big triggers is repetition. When I just come against someone who's just repeating someone else's word, I'm just like, ah.
Yeah, they just like they can't actually like it's like, can you like put that in your own words? And then they just kind of like stammer, they like sputter out. It's like, oh wait.
But Andrew Wilson said. Yeah.
Not the Force doctrine, not the.
Oh God, that is that's my trigger, man. That's I loathe that idea. It is the dumbest shit. It's exactly what a bunch of people who won't think them having guns should determine that they get the highest say would say. It also makes no sense in our society to sit there and argue that force doctrine is the heart of everything, right? The entire society is built on mutual agreement through a social contract that we then use to apply force to uphold.
Yeah.
They're putting the cart before the horse on the whole damn thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why whenever anyone brings up force doctrine, you just ask them this one simple question every time. Can you project force without a mutual agreement? And the answer is fucking no, you can't.
That's a
because you're
great
just
way to put
a dude.
Because I always found like the weird, like I think Andrew has like further he has a more sophisticated way of explaining his force doctrine memes now, but like historically he would just say like if all men fought all women. It's like, what are you talking about? Like
that itself is the most retarded analogy ever, because you're saying all men should basically go against what he says is their nature, which is protecting women and children, right?
True.
So if all men just go completely against their nature, so just dumb.
I always imagine those the CGI like 1,000 Kermit the Frogs versus 1,000 Harry Potters and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like I always imagine that. I'm just like every man versus every woman just fighting in a field.
Yeah, I also like to ask, where does authority come from? Because authority directs force. And if authority doesn't come from force, then force doesn't matter. So I'm like, okay, so does authority come from the president has authority over the army? The army is the arm of force. Where does the president get his authority from? Well, he's not Genghis Khan. He didn't chop off the head of the previous president through force to get that authority.
Not for lack of trying.
Right. He got it through mutual agreement, through a social contract.
Infallible Foul says, I'm so sick of the part of my country that lives to see people miserable, but whines if you criticize them. So true. So real.
Well, that's the thing about fascism. It can stand no criticism.
Mm-hmm.
It can stand no challenge to the myth of the nation that it builds. This is why right-wingers went absolutely batshit crazy with the 1619 Project and shit like that, trying to tell the true history of the country, because fascists have to have a myth of the country. We've always been the beacon of freedom. It's always been good. So if you try to be like, no, we've got some bad shit in our past that we have to make up for, fascists can't deal with that.
Yeah, or even like at least acknowledge before we even decide how to make up for it and stuff. Renee says, Operation Inflation is literally an example of setting up infrastructure and systems to help people fight back. Yeah, and Mel was not agreeing with it, but it is one method, getting awareness about something and a positive fight back. Yeah, like I don't know. I really think
ridiculism.
Like maybe, yeah, exactly. Like maybe Mel doesn't care about reaching like any sort of relatively moderate folks, but I feel like we need to reach those people. And like when people
and I completely understand that Mel has more on the line than I do. 100%.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
she has way more on the line and at stake than I do. And I recognize that.
No, absolutely. I agree. Yeah. Where's the stupid chat link? Fuck it. It's pinned if that's what you're... If you're going to come on, Renee. Because trans, well, yeah. For example.
Yeah, in the immediacy, like we all could stand to lose if democracy falls, but you know, the climate is first going to come for her before it comes for me, you know, giant white man. Her danger is more immediate than mine, especially considering that we're having to protect trans people so hard right now. I'm not saying overall that it only matters because of that, but I can understand why someone in a position closer to the danger would want more extreme measures.
Sure. It's literally taking immigrants though before them. Oh yeah, but like, I mean, who's next once they've wiped out all the immigrants? I guess just, well, now they can racially profile. I guess it's going to be just any brown person, which it already kind of is getting closer to. Oh yeah, it was 2 months ago when they were complaining the Smithsonian was woke. Yeah.
Well, it is woke. If by woke you mean saying anything bad about the country ever, or actually telling its true history.
Mm-hmm. Renee, there's a pinned here. I'll post it again. Here.
I hate that word, by the way. I loathe the word woke at this point.
Sure.
It either just needs to die or it needs to come full circle. My hope would be that once we finally break the spell, there will be a slew of center-right and right-wing people who start to jump ship, and then we'll start to retake the word woke, and it'll start to mean people who woke up from the Trump delusion.
Yeah. We'll see if we can get those Epstein files out. Maybe we'll see some people.
But it's a perfect example of not just the bad faith on the right, but the malicious bad faith on the right, because the entire usage of it, as far as like around the 2020 Black Lives Matter stuff, or before that happened, all it was someone saying, I have awakened to a history in the United States that I didn't know before. That's all it was.
Yep.
I learned things about my history that I didn't know before. I'm awakened to that fact. And that offended them so much that they had to use it and turn it into a catch-all pejorative that basically is housing every negative thing the right thinks about the left. I mean, there are some people out there, when they say woke, they mean the fucking N-word, you know? Yeah. It's gotten that bad.
Yeah, woke, DEI, CRT they're all just politically correct ways of calling people the N-word.
And then they wonder why fucking Turning Point people are getting run off of HBCU campuses when they show up.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends works on an HBCU, and I was like, hey, what'd you think about this? And he just looked at me and he was like, my humanity is not up for debate.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit, Kinetic Kel on the way. Kinetic Kel reporting for duty. The link is pinned. We'll see you soon. Oh, not this guy. This guy always joins in here. He does this like every open panel. You see in the private chat, he just posts the N-word, and he wants to come on and say it, but you can't come on and say it, okay? Bye, MC Nemesis. You can't come hang out with us till you grow up or something. Bye, kicking you from the studio. What a loser. That's Aaron Woodard experience on X. This is the guy. He likes to come in. He posts the N-word in my private chat, and then if I bring him on stage, I brought him on stage one time, but I know now from that one time he'll just say, "Hey, N-words," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm good, thank you, sir." But he tries every time. I appreciate the commitment to the bit. It's immature to say it. Why do 35 million blacks do it daily? I can't explain that to you, Aaron. I think you probably understand better than you're pretending to.
Right. Yeah, the real question is why do you give a fuck?
Yeah, like why do you want to say it so bad? Why are you so obsessed with saying it? Like you can say it. I don't care if you say it, but like you're not gonna say it on my platform.
You can say it on your stream, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one. What's that? Like
freedom of speech.
I think it's a CNN clip or something where the guy's like, or maybe it's Fox. I think it's Fox News. And the guy's like, why can't we say it? And the black guy's just like, well, say it. Go ahead. Say it. We'll say it together. It's a good meme. Joseph says, I might come up and argue with Effigy if he thinks he's protecting trans and gays. If he doesn't want it, you're welcome up, Joseph.
Should we not?
Yeah, should we? Yeah, that's a good question. Should we not protect trans and gays? Latavian says, what's your feeling on the term Rigas? I don't know what that means. Elite says, I have a reason for and against this too strong.
Is that just a cute way to say something that's nearly the word but not the word?
Yeah, it's kind
like,
of
what is the obsession? Like, I don't
radical.
Like,
well, I think
you tell people that there's a word they're not supposed to say, and they lose their fucking minds.
No, I don't think. Well, Latavian's not one of those people. To be fair, I think he's being silly. Latavian, click the link. Come on up, hang out with us.
I mean, I work with a bunch of riggers who rig things on high places and hang them for concerts and things and productions.
Don't do it, Garuda. We're not doing end towers. Stop. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you say it, but like don't do fucking end towers. That encourages bad behavior in the chat. Gingers unite. True. I feel like a lot of people are saying they're going to come join it, and then they don't. Okay, Joseph says, give me 10. Okay. C-E? Where are you going with this?
Well, to Joseph's statement, thankfully, in the last decade or so, I haven't had to do much protecting because people kind of started being okay with it, and now we're kind of taking the step back. Shit, when I was fucking 19 in college, I had to regularly get in fights to protect my gay and trans friends. Yeah. And trans wasn't even really a big, well-known thing back then.
Sure.
No, it was kind of nice. Things seemed like they were going in a good direction.
Latavian.
What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, wait, you're a little quiet, maybe?
Yeah, I need to figure out my audio settings.
Well, get this better, man.
It's very strange. I have my mic volume like all the way up. Hold on.
Are you using a potato as a mic?
Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I have no idea.
Latavian, explain why you want to say the N-word so bad.
I don't. I want to say the R word.
Do you have a lot of friends who rig things for concerts or other high?
Yeah, they're all pretty radical, so that's why I came up with that term. Yeah.
Okay.
I really think that just like it makes the most sense for like the fans of Radical Coder, right? Like you've got the DGGs, so now we've got the Rigas.
I don't think I want to follow in the footsteps of our mutual friend Destiny.
What are the official term for the Radical Coder fans?
I don't know. I feel like just radicals, maybe. It's easy. Like the Discord is room for radicals, right?
That's true, but you do also have a lot of right-wing radicals.
That's true. That's true. Well, I guess that works. We have radicals of all shapes and sizes.
It's true. Yeah, you could also go the Codas route.
Codas? That is one. Codas.
Oh, that actually has a meaning in the deaf community.
Coda does?
Well, Coda.
Oh.
Therefore, plural Codas. Yeah,
I guess.
You would be, what's the term when you're taking from a community or culture that you're not a part of?
Cultural appropriation?
Yep. You would be doing that if you did that way.
Well, I wouldn't want to do that. So I'll just appropriate radicals from people who maybe have different politics than me.
Yeah, and then we could use radicals like like the Mormons use brother. Be like, I'm radical effigy. This is radical coder.
Yo, I actually kind of like that. Radical Latavian.
Whenever I'm in chat or on stream, I'm radical Latavian. Everywhere else, I'm base Latavian. So.
Fair enough. How's the Blood on the Clock Tower been going? I'm sorry I haven't been able to make it for a while.
Yeah, because you've been fucking around over there. It's been good though. It's been a lot of fun. Missing out. Told you should stream some Blood on the Clock Tower. Have some fun.
I'm open to it. Do the people who we usually play with are they cool with that if I stream onto my channel?
I mean, I told you that you could just ask and say, hey.
Yeah.
So
I just figured you would have a gauge on their feeling.
I think the vast majority of people would be fine with it.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough.
And also I'm more than welcome to just run if you want to do Blood on the Clock Tower streams with specific people or even people in the streaming world that you can convince that to join you for it or whatever the case is. I'm happy to run games there too.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Could be down for that. It is fun.
What game is this?
Explain, Latavian.
No, I'd actually rather you explain so I could see just how well you understand the game, and then I can fix. Yeah.
All right. Well, FG, have you ever played any of those games like One Night Vampire, One Night Werewolf, and shit like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like that, but it's an online version. And basically, everyone gets randomly assigned a character or identity in this town. And some of them are bad guys, some of them are good guys, and they have different skills and different powers to activate under different circumstances. And each night, each night something happens, and you get to is it during the day we talk to each other? During the day we talk to each other and decide like you can have do the calls happen at night? I can't remember now. It's been a couple weeks.
I know. I was literally about to say that's because you're fucking around and you're not playing. You're not playing enough. You need to come back to if you don't even remember that. Yeah.
That's real.
During the night, the evil team, the demon, kills somebody, and then the good, everyone gets their abilities.
Yeah.
Proc at night to get more information or other stuff, and then during the next day, you talk about what happened, try to figure out who did it. So it's a very big whodunit game. But everybody has a role, so everyone gets to do stuff or learn stuff or is protected from the demon or hurts the good team. And then also even when you die, you stay alive. You're still in the game and still able to
you stay alive.
Do stuff. So yeah.
Real quick, I do want to point out that we do have only 2 minutes left on the goal. And I mean, this is the night is still young. I would like to keep this panel going. And I can't promise that will happen if we don't meet the goals. So, just something to be aware of. If you are fearful of the stream ending, there is one easy way to prevent that from happening.
Yes, I just joined everyone too. So it's been boring up to now. I can promise you it'll be less boring now. So get that super chat in so we can.
Well, make your sales pitch. How are you going to make it less boring, Latavian? What do you got for us?
Oh, we can run through a gambit of conversations and topics we disagree about, from boring to extremely not boring, depending on how big the super chat is, and then we can go from there. But I will make Radical Coder cry. I can promise that. I can make sure he begs for us to stop the conversation because he's losing too hard. He's done that multiple times in the past, by the way, on those secret streams you only get if you have subscribed and are a member.
That's true. Yeah.
So if you really like seeing Ryan and losing debate positions, you probably want to send that super chat in. If you send the super chat in, you want Ryan to win. I have purposely lost, quote unquote, debates many times because I just felt bad for Ryan, and so yeah, that's it's the pitch. I can do it either way.
Well, real quick, shout out Michelle Hunt for celebrating a 2-month membership. That's very exciting.
Shout out Michelle Hunt.
But I think the goal is still going to end. Is that Wick? No, that's not Wick. What do you have to say about the Wick allegations, Latavia?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I neither sound nor look anything like Wick. So as somebody who has met Wick in person, yeah, it is.
Garuda, if you're still in chat, you owe us a super chat just for what you put us through the other night. So pay up, buddy.
That's fair. That's fair. Joseph, how you doing? I'm gonna do another goal for 15 minutes, but I am very likely if we continue to not make any money,
use it or lose it is what he's saying.
I like to sleep, and I can happily just go back to sleep. Wow, Joseph ran. Another Radical Coder W. How come every time they just run? Skelts celebrating a 1-month membership says, "Does this count with a care react?" It sort of. It. I don't know. It doesn't count towards the goal, unfortunately. But I'll accept it to continue at least the next 15 minutes. But Joseph, you're back. What's the goal, Ryan? It could be any color super chat. We have no rules here, except for that we need money. Any amount of money.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
We sure can.
I still can't hear you, but I think that's only because you need to donate $1 to the stream.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I have a lot of issues on my cell phone when I try to use this, so if I fall off again, don't be surprised.
That's okay, Joseph. You always fall off when you're here.
Yep.
So what's up?
Well, just fucking sweeping up Japanese beetles in my shop. It's that time of year.
Japanese beetles. Do you live in Japan?
Minnesota.
Doesn't sound very fun.
Minnesota, Japan.
You don't get those? Where are you from?
I live right next to Radical Coder in Washington, D.C., right next to the White House.
Oh, really? Well, maybe it's just a northern thing. I don't know.
Real quick, Skelts with the 5 gifted memberships. I will count that for we'll move it to 30 minutes instead of 15 for that. That's awesome. Thank you, Skelts. In Pursuit of Knowledge got a membership. Angela Baby Carson got a membership. Fatty got a gifted membership. Jim Speak and Stevie all got memberships. Shout out Skelts, W Skelts. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the stream, supporting the dream, supporting the ween.
Is that Uncle Fatty?
No, that's Fatty. The
Portuguese Fatty.
What?
Okay. I was gonna say he should come up and partake in this little discussion too. He'd lose his shit.
Let's call it a powwow.
Yes.
Whoa, radical. That is cultural appropriation for you to agree to that.
Oh, I don't care. I culturally appropriate.
Oh, we determined that earlier in the stream.
Yeah. I also do microaggressions quite frequently.
Oh, so then you should have no problem with the Riga's term for your fans, right?
I don't have to embrace every problematic term just because I embrace some.
Do you think this is actually a genuine question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how people will utilize like the soft A, not hard R, N-word, and smash it with like a community thing, like DGGs, the Rigas, that's the official term now, right? Like, is that a microaggression? Like, is that actually?
I would say so. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I don't think it's great. I think it's probably not. It's suboptimal to say the least. I feel like I wouldn't blame, like Like if I can imagine being just a random black person who comes across.
Wait, can you imagine the black experience?
I can hypothesize what it might be like. And I can imagine finding the DGG community, find out they call each other DGGers, and being like, well,
whoa! They say DGGers.
No, they don't always do that actually. As someone who used to hang out in the DGG space,
you do realize
quite aware.
Those are the black DGG.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah.
Seems like a whole lot of nothing to me.
Yeah, I mean it's not like the end of the world or anything, but I can imagine someone just like being like, I'm not really interested in that space, you know? Like I wouldn't blame someone for having that mindset.
So whenever someone uses that word, Ryan, it's intentionally microaggressing against the black community.
Who said anything about intentional?
Well, what's a microaggression?
Microaggressions are very often not intentional. But I mean, do you want like?
I'm asking. I'm not. I don't know.
Here, let me get like a formal definition.
No! Don't look it up. No! Whoa! Don't do that.
Subtle, often unconscious.
Oh, yeah, no, I want a bit of a
what is wrong with you guys? This is a learning stream. Learning is radical. It's not pontificating is radical. It's learning is radical.
You're right. But we asked the question.
I mean, if you guys looked up more shit, you'd probably not sound like dumbasses all the time.
That's true.
Ooh.
Definitely true for Ryan. That's absolutely. But
So microaggression. So before I was rudely interrupted, don't make me mean.
Whoa! I wanted to know what your definition was before you actually looked it up because you didn't know.
Well, too late. I already am reading it. So, subtle, often unconscious comments or actions that communicate prejudiced attitudes toward marginalized groups. I think DGG counts perfectly fine for that.
How's it?
Well, then here, let me rephrase it then, Ryan.
That implies intention, though, right? So, like,
literally,
it's prejudice. So
it says subtle, often unconscious. Wait. How can it be intentional if it's often unconscious?
But it's meant to communicate prejudice. So is a person able to use the word without being a prejudice?
No, it doesn't. I didn't say meant. No, shut the fuck up. I didn't say meant. I read often unconscious comments or actions that communicate prejudice. It says nothing about intention.
Okay, I'm granting that right now. What I'm saying is then, can I use those, whatever word, XYZ, can I use that and not be prejudiced? Or when I use it, it's showing prejudice?
You can do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck.
All right.
Well, that hand wave, that's such a hand wave.
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you
mean?
Hand wave,
because you're admitting it may or may not be prejudice. And then when I asked if the usage of saying DGGs by the community is microaggression, you said yes. But what you're saying is that therefore their usage definitively is prejudice, even if unconscious. But you just said you don't know whether somebody's use of the term anything.
You're playing fast and loose with the definition. Okay, so I want to be clear. It says that communicate prejudiced attitudes toward marginalized groups. That communicate prejudice. That does not mean intentional in any way, shape, or form.
No, yes, but that's what I'm saying. What Joseph?
Let me try to clarify for him. Ryan, the line of questioning was to figure out if you think a person can use the word without microaggressing.
What do you mean without microaggression? Like I mean,
because is that what you said?
We're not talking. I think the issue is that like the person microaggressing or whatever. It's not necessarily. It's often going to be in the eyes of the beholder, right? The person who is experiencing the microaggression.
Oh, so
it's not. Long story short, it's not fucking about you. It's not about you.
That's bullshit. Okay.
No, it's literally the point.
You can find somebody that finds literally anything racist and microaggressive, but that does not make the thing racist or microaggressive, right?
But it might signify. But if you do,
I think that's the point, though, right? It's if the person takes it that way, right?
What Ryan is saying is that you have no agency over if you microaggress upon another, right? Or do you disagree with that?
Not really. Like you can kind of like think about how someone might interpret something you're saying, like logically, like a human being does.
No, okay, hold on here, okay. That's dumb on a couple of different levels, but I'll be good faith.
Yeah, give me one.
Okay, so one, it's dumb because when we talk about things like microaggression, we talk about things like this is actually subtly racist. Well, I think implicit within that definition is that is that a good number of people, maybe a majority, maybe more, maybe not a majority, but a large chunk of people actually do find this thing racist. I think that's like kind of implicit when we say that definition.
I don't know if I agree with
that. You can disagree, but the idea is like if you don't disagree and you like there's a threshold, right? Because I think you would I think you would probably agree that if one person out of every person within a class of like millions and millions found something to be racist against the entire class, but the rest of the class didn't find it to be racist at all, like does that make that statement racist?
Probably not.
Okay, so you're agreeing with my position. You may just not be agreeing about the threshold.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, it's all about threshold, right? Like a good example would be like if you walked up to an Asian person and you said, "Where are you from?" And the implication there was that you are not from America because you're Asian. But they were actually born in America. Like that's why it's micro, right? It's nothing to you, but it might be something to them, even if it's a small slight.
The key difference would be that Ryan is saying that it's in the eye of the beholder. But if you're doing racist shit, it depends on what the person doing the action believes, because you can't say, "Oh, that's racist," if the person's not racist.
Of course you can. What do you mean?
You can have unintentional bias though.
No,
it's not, you can't. No, it's not, Joseph.
The motive behind it. The motive behind it would have.
You can't say it. You just can be wrong, right?
What I'm saying is that you can't be like in the eyes of the beholder and then have them foist upon you that you are racist, because that is 100% from your own purview. If I do something that's perceived racist and I don't believe myself supreme above, Chinese or Koreans.
Yeah, see, you're working with your proprietary definition
of racism. If
racism.
someone says like you offended me because of something, and you said that that I didn't mean to offend you, therefore you shouldn't be offended. Like you take that for every situation now. If you say anything and someone's like, "Wow, that offended me," you're just like, "Well, I didn't mean it as offense, so you can't be offended."
No, I was just describing the difference to what is that? Lativent. Can't pronounce your name, but the difference is that Ryan was saying that microaggressions are more so in the eye of the beholder, while racism, like if somebody were to say, "Oh, that was racist what you did," it's like, no, it's not. I'm not racist.
No, but that's wrong because Radical Coder would literally say microaggressions are racist.
He's been a bit flexible.
Wait. Let me fucking respond to these allegations. I don't think I would say that necessarily. I would say that many microaggressions
necessarily.
I would say that there are microaggressions that are racist, and there's microaggressions that communicate other forms of prejudice. There are microaggressions that are transphobic, that are sexist, that are ageist, that are ableist.
Okay. You're literally. So you're saying yes, but there's also other forms of microaggression that are other forms of prejudice.
Ryan, is prejudice and if you are prejudiced, does that dictate racism?
What do you mean dictate racism?
If you are prejudiced over someone's race, then sure.
Yeah, clearly not over what Ryan was
You're
just
prejudiced
saying.
about their hair color, probably not.
Well, then what's the difference in your eyes between being prejudiced towards a group of people and then being racist towards them? Because they're two different words. Are they synonymous?
They literally just communicate.
Yeah.
It's about the basis. It's about the basis of the prejudice.
It's just purely yes, exactly. It's if it's based off of race, then it's racist. It's racist prejudice. If it's based off of something else, it's whatever else.
But you can be prejudiced against a group of whatever, and it doesn't have to be categorized through a race of.
Obviously, but that's why we said like transphobia, like being transphobic has nothing to do with race, right?
No, but
hey, where are you guys from?
I see what you're
prejudice
saying. Fair enough.
Of a race, then it's interpersonally racist. Like,
no, this is where I would disagree with you, FG. I would say that like because I might be a bit older than you, but being racist is a belief that I might be, maybe not, but. When I was growing up, racism was believing you being a superior race than another. So it was a superiority thing. Versus a prejudice would be like, women crossing the street at night if they see a group of whatever race of people. So the women might not be racist towards them. They not believe they're better than them, but they might have a prejudice towards them. That's where I was trying to get at with the distinction between the two.
Well, I mean, it seems to me you're talking about two roads that lead to the same end, right? Like belief in your own superior order can cause exclusionary ideas that lead to the same kind of prejudicial racism that a belief that other people are negatively inferior can lead to, right?
No, so sorry. Okay,
sides of the same coin, right?
Let me jump
no,
in.
I would just.
Sorry, Joseph. Let me jump in. Yeah. If you think you're superior to a group of people, I feel like the default, if you're walking on the sidewalk, right? Like think about it this way, okay? You're walking on the right side of the sidewalk, and you've got a group of whatever group of people you're prejudiced against, you're thinking you're superior to.
Protestants.
I feel like the default assumption there would be they need to get out of my way, and if they don't, you get pissed.
No. You can sit there and have a superior attitude about your skin color, your genetic makeup, whatever, but you can still think that another group is like a degenerate form of animals that are going to attack me, right? These two things are just two sides to the same coin.
Okay, actually, yeah. Sure.
All right, so you failed. Let me push back here. So it's not the same thing. You could have prejudice. Prejudice is a preconceived notion based on whatever characteristics you've observed. So you could observe one person in your life and hold a prejudice towards an entire community. You might think that's being racist, but that's just a prejudice. Racism comes in when you think
the prejudice based on their race.
No, so if you think someone's violent,
I can be prejudiced against food types. Is that prejudice based on their race?
No.
Then it wouldn't be racism, right?
To recategorize different types of fruits and veggies as race as the fruits and veggies.
Like prejudice is just a generic word for like a negative discrimination, right? Like you have to put the qualifiers in what kind of prejudice you're talking about.
I think this is kind of moot. I think underlying all of it, we understand the difference between those.
I'm with Effigy on that. On the last point, I do agree with that. I think there's a distinction between the feeling of superiority though versus just having an implicit I don't think.
Well, he didn't say that. He said that it leads to the same ends.
No, that yes, which is determination.
What I'm saying is that you don't have to think you're superior to a different class of people, or not class, but ethnic, whatever. But you can hold prejudice against them. So you can say everybody's all the same here. We're all just people under the sun at the end of the day. But you can hold prejudice.
Yeah. So hold on. You both might be saying roughly the same thing. Just you're describing it in a different way. Like, because I would imagine that if you're a white person and you see black people walking down the dark alleyway at night on the sidewalk, and you move out of the way because you're like, oh shit, like these are I'm just kidding. I don't think I'm superior. I just feel like, I would be safer just not being on the same side of the sidewalk, right? I think that's what you would be saying, Joseph, right? Is like, that would be prejudice, but not superiority. But I kind of imagine, Effigy, and correct me if I'm wrong, that if you're envisioning the fact that you wouldn't do this to two white people if they were walking down the same sidewalk, there's kind of an inherent, implicit white people, which maybe you're of the right. You could get into maybe this is a black woman, black person, or black.
I would do it to white people, specifically white people.
Sure.
Fox, you're crossing the roads when you see white people.
Yeah, but hold on, just hold off. You get what I'm
all the time.
But Effigy, Joseph and Effigy, you get what I'm saying, right? Yes, you might do that, and it's not based off of kind of this inherent idea that oh, I am superior to these black people.
But I think Effigy showed his hand when he said that.
Hold on, can you just answer my question?
Yep,
I don't know why you're bringing him in. I'm just saying, you're saying that yes, if you're walking down the street, you're white, and you see these two black guys, and you cross the street, you don't need to implicitly, in any case, believe yes, white people are superior to black people, or I'm superior to black people, to express that prejudice of thinking they might be more dangerous, and so you cross the street. That's kind of what.
But you have to agree that there can be a link between you thinking you're superior and they're inferior, right?
Hold on, Effigy. Wait, just chill. I'm asking for clarification. Joseph's position, real quick, okay? Joseph, you would agree with what I just said, right?
I maybe have to listen to you say it again.
Yeah, okay, I will. I'm happy to say it again. you could be walking down the street as a white person. You see two black people walking down the same side of the sidewalk as you, and you're like, you know what? I would just feel safer if I cross the street and go to the other sidewalk. But like this person does not imagine or think in any way they're superior to black people. Like they're just like, oh, I'm just having this kind of implicit sort of like reaction and being like, oh, you know what? I feel like I would be safer if I went to the other side of the sidewalk. But they would never answer in any questionnaire or anything. I think white people are superior to black people, or I feel superior to black people, right?
Sure. Keep going.
And so, Effigy, addressing you now, right? Like, I think the idea is, from what you're saying, is the fact that if this person reacted differently to white people than black people, like if they saw two white people walking down the street, but they didn't have that same sort of expression of like, I would feel safer to cross the street for whatever reason, and the white people would get to pass, but the black people wouldn't. Even if this person isn't explicitly saying, I'm superior to these other people, the idea is though that like somehow white people are superior in the fact that they're safer to the black people. The black people are inferior in some way, and I might be white myself, and therefore there's kind of this implicit understanding of superiority there by race when they move from one sidewalk to the other to avoid two black people walking by them, even if this person doesn't explicitly think white people are superior to black people. That is kind of what you're saying, right?
I suppose. I mean, if you're thinking that people are inherently dangerous because they're race, you kind of are thinking they're inferior, right?
That's what. Yeah, that's
you have it backwards.
That's well.
No,
hold
not
on.
necessarily.
Black people are superior at mugging you on the sidewalk.
Exactly, Denzi, and superiority becomes a subjective term at that point.
But
what is not subjective? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Effigy, yes, you're agreeing with me. Like you are agreeing with my proposal there. That's the way you're viewing it. Of like there is this implicit.
I mean, there are many avenues to being a racist. Yes, it doesn't just thinking you're inferior or that someone else is inferior. There are many ways that racists rationalize their beliefs of other people.
But there is this sort of implicit inferiority when you're
bias?
when you're designating these black people
like
as
an implicit bias,
but not white people, right?
Like an implicit bias, right? Like this is why we define implicit versus explicit bias.
Yes. Basically what I'm saying is I think Joe.
I'm just not sure where you're going.
Yeah, I think where I'm going is I think Joseph and Effigy agree actually on the circumstances of the situation. They're just using different language to describe it, and that's where the disagreement.
I think we do too, and I think he said as much when he said, "Well, it leads. What's the difference when it leads to the same outcome?" That tells me that we do understand each other, and that's why I say it's moot, because at a certain point, when you're just hearkening on definitions, it's like, well, all right, we understand each other. We just think you think prejudice is racism, and I just think that it's not that simple, right?
It isn't. So for example, I can go over like a bunch of numbers, right? And I can examine certain numbers with prejudice and certain numbers without prejudice. And that's obvious. Like I can't be racist towards numbers. So there is a context within prejudice, people.
I don't even know that I agree with that, but okay, keep going.
Okay, so what about bias? Do you know, like bias is a common thing when we talk in other fields when we talk about
yeah, but sure. I don't know how I would define prejudice versus bias versus other stuff. So we might just.
I would say in order to have prejudice, you at least need bias, and for this prejudice to be the kind of prejudice we're talking about contextually, it needs to be geared towards a group of people. Now, when that when that prejudice becomes action, and this is where I agree with Joseph, like even a speech act, or even legislated for like a systemic kind of racism, then it becomes that ism, the racism.
Well, so I would just posit that there doesn't need to be legislation for something to be systemic, right?
Sure, I was just giving you that.
It
makes more sense as an example now that you point that out, but sure.
And you bring up a good point, Fox. Like I've heard people say, if you try to cite statistics, using racist coded language or whatever.
Can't imagine why people would say that to you, Joseph.
I think
I don't bring up stats
there,
in my daily conversation. Trust me.
I think the confusion there, and there's a bit of misunderstanding from the other side, as someone who kind of does understand academia from an outsider perspective, to be clear. But so there's some misunderstanding on the left, but the major misunderstanding when people hear that is understanding that like a lot of like our notions, like the whole like black people walking down the street, right? You might not think you're superior, but it might have been seeing your mother do that, and you don't even second guess it. And it's the fact that you don't second guess it, that it's normal to have that prejudice, which is in itself a systemic racism. And so going to like the statistics and papers and stuff like that, a lot of things are kind of framed before they even get into the numbers as like what is normal, right? Well, we often think about the white cis het male archetype, and then we don't think, well, why is he white, why is he a male, that kind of thing. And when that doesn't happen, that's a problem in academia.
You think people don't understand that, or
in academia more than anything, in academia they can overdo it, and that's what the left doesn't understand, is that if anything, it's the neoliberalism that academia takes it to that bothers me. But yeah, no,
they're overstepping and they're hyper focusing.
Definitely, yeah, no, of course. For a lot of us to start talking about this stuff, like critical race theory and stuff, it had to come out of scholars who were often in universities and would publish these theories in papers in academic literature.
True, and this is real quick, guys. Hey, I want to say, Kel has joined in the back. I only have room for 6 people.
I'm the disappearing fox tonight, so.
Well, there we go. Kinetic Kel, welcome to the stream.
A 6-person limit.
Kel, how do you feel about kicking a trans person off of my panel to take her spot?
Especially when me and Effigy were about to have a topical thing.
You're muted.
Sorry.
I feel like that's equality. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, based.
Equal rights, equal opportunities does not always mean equal outcome. You know what I'm saying?
That's so real.
Rebuttal?
I got nothing. I was just curious.
The rebuttal is your base. So
that seems like a leading question.
It was.
What are you being for Halloween?
Kel, I've seen you around the YouTube recently. I think on Tomato and then Grid maybe. And it seems like you're trying to dip your toes in the debating. Is there a topic that you feel you're pretty good at that everyone has wrong or something like that?
Before you answer that, I want to thank Wi-Fi for the $5. He says, "I like you, Ryan, even though I disagree a lot. Many such cases, as it turns out." Go ahead, Kel.
When you say I get that a lot.
I mean, listen, it's not hard to understand. Ryan has a very likable personality, but is wrong about essentially every take. So, like,
name one thing I'm wrong about.
Ryan is a diamond in the rough when it comes to debating liberals.
Name one thing I'm wrong about, Latavian.
Yeah, your position on Hassan.
What about him? What's my position on Hassan that I'm wrong about?
You think Hassan is a good faith actor?
I don't think I've said that explicitly.
So, do you think Hassan is a good faith actor?
I'm undecided on that.
Okay.
I think
you're wrong about being undecided on
that. Is that wrong, or is that like not having a fully formed opinion on it? Like I think Hassan is. I mean, he's a streamer, he's an entertainer. He makes money doing what he does. So, I mean, a lot of money.
I think.
Are we playing the you have to disavow my lefty game now?
He doesn't have to. I just want to know.
Jasmine rice or basmati rice?
Jasmine rice.
However, I think there's an ample amount of.
Well, you are wrong about everything.
Ryan, do you think Hassan is an intelligent man?
Yeah, to some degree.
I think
to some degree, that's not really a full-throated yes.
I think Hassan's probably smarter than you, Joseph, based on our conversations.
Oh.
So I would say this. I think there's more than enough information readily available about Hassan and all the related positions that if you don't have a yes or no answer to that question, you're just being willfully uninformed. And I think being willfully uninformed.
Or maybe he doesn't watch enough of his content.
Yeah, or what if we don't care?
Oh no, that's
then he
whoa.
He would say, "I don't know, Kel." That's what he would say in that situation.
One. I agree that I'm not saying he needs to make it his content, right? I'm asking him his position about.
Team of the Dimps.
And I think if I'm asking him his position about something, he should be giving an honest expression of that position. And if he's saying
I don't have a position,
doesn't know because he just hasn't looked into it.
Well, let me add some more context then. Like, I have actually watched quite a bit of Hassan's content.
Doesn't surprise me. Sorry.
Okay, so you've watched quite a bit of Hassan's.
Why? It sounds like you guys have too.
Yeah, hold on. If you said you've watched quite a bit of Hassan's content, how do you not have a position on whether somebody's good faith or not from watching a lot of their content? Self-described.
Guys, the real question: did he have a shock collar for his dog, yo?
Obviously, but I'm asking Ryan.
Is it obvious? But okay, sorry. What's the question?
What I said is, if you self-admit to saying you've watched a lot of a person's content, how can you not have a position on whether a person whose content you've watched a lot of is good faith or not?
What's up?
I don't know. I feel like I feel that way about a lot of creators, so I've probably watched a lot of their content.
But like, isn't the fact that you don't know they're good faith after watching a lot of their content itself telling of the fact that they're not?
Not necessarily.
Anyways, if we can segue off the idiot, not you, Ryan, Hassan. If you'll
I'm actually I actually want to continue this because I think it's interesting.
All right.
What Ryan's saying is like, oh shit, I'm getting legitimate challenges over the
Hi, Clayton.
position. Yeah.
I don't know if that's. I think I've watched a lot of creators who, at the end of the day, I don't know if I am like certain that they like believe everything they say, that whether they're like they're grifting.
Well, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me clarify this, okay? Because
can you give an example of his bad faith action?
Hold on. I'm not saying necessarily like, yes, they need. When I say good faith, okay, like if somebody's good faith, I understand. Yeah, there can be a couple of topics or situations where like they implicitly are bad faith because of biases or whatever the case is. Like, I'm not holding somebody to the standard of like saying good faith to be like they literally need to in every single topic have a maximally good faith position in anything. I'm saying like as a whole, like you look at their content and like you measure it by like whether they're good faith or not good faith when it gets addressed. Like, is there an overall plurality of good faith or bad faith in the content that you're seeing and the way you're approaching it or the evidence that you see? That's what I'm asking.
Like he's like raised around, like, isn't that guy his uncle or whatever? Like the guy,
yeah,
he's been indoctrinated by like radical political beliefs. Like he could be completely sincere for all I know. I think he's.
Wait, you think Shank has radical political beliefs?
Wait, is that a serious question? Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Like what?
He's kind of centerish.
Wait,
so maybe it would be easier for you to
delusional douchebag.
Wait, before you guys,
any person understands anything about radical anything.
Wait, as the radical in the room, I have to stop for a second and thank Elite Eater for the $5 who says different kinds of smart, different kinds of dumb. For everyone at different times and different states of mind can depend from topic to topic and brains. Thank you, Elite.
Yeah, so Elite, but I'm not asking about whether you feel like they're being dumb or smart about a topic. I'm asking whether you think a person's being good faith or bad faith based off of the fact that you've watched a lot of their content.
Yeah, so to make it easily digestible for Ryan, maybe start out with describing to him what being maximally good faith would look like. What wouldn't you do? What would you do?
Or an example of bad faith.
Yeah, or an example of Hassan being bad faith that you could point to.
Holy shit!
Wait, okay, whoa! You don't want to go.
All good faith or all bad faith? It's fucking stupid. It's a fucking
I'm not
stupid
doing
question.
that. I'm literally explicitly said I'm not doing that. I literally explicitly said.
Give an example.
Wait, you literally asked me to say whether you. Wait, that was the original question you asked me was whether Hassan's bad faith.
Yes, if you're saying it's a stupid question and you're saying there's no answer to it, you're saying like it's too.
Just chill.
The
I
Coke
said
Latavian is unreal. But okay.
No, I asked whether you think he's bad faith or good faith, and I clarified by saying, because you said, well, I feel like he's got a lot of different takes on a lot of different things and like whatever, and I said, I'm not saying, okay, that like when I say good faith, I explicitly said this. I'm repeating myself a second time. I'm not saying that means that they have to be 100% good faith on every single topic, every single discussion, every single debate, and vice versa for being bad faith, right? I'm saying like somebody can be bad faith in like 1, 2, 3 conversations, but like 96% of the time they're good faith. I'm asking you, FG, you clearly want to say something, so just say something.
Well, no, it's just if you don't give an example, then you are asking a maximalist dichotomy. If you do not specify, no, you are. Whether or not you think you are, if you do not give example, you are asking a maximalist dichotomy.
Not necessarily.
Is he good faith or is he bad faith of everything? Because you're not giving an example at all.
What the fuck?
Because you have to be specific.
He's just asking, is he mostly good faith or mostly bad faith?
I can be good faith in this debate.
But the way to make that question more descriptive would be to give an example of what is bad faith.
Well, I want to give I want to give an example of how to support the stream, and Gay Odyssey showed you all how to do it by donating $2, saying demand Jan 6 reparations, chat research J6 truth. I mean, feel free to, I agree. Research the truth of Jan 6, and you will learn about how a group of people, including Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, they tried to overturn a free and fair election, and through intimidation and violence. And they succeeded in delaying the certification of the election. So,
also, just to be clear, I can give examples of Hassan being bad faith, but that's not central to the
paid for and lopsided.
I'm literally just saying, like, I'm clarifying my original statement, which was, is Hassan bad faith or good faith? And I'm clarifying it by saying, essentially, is Hassan majority bad faith, neutral, exactly 50-50, or...
Anybody who doesn't get that part is a retard. You shouldn't keep repeating that.
Hey,
why don't you give us an example?
We don't do the R-slur here. I only do it when I'm extremely dysregulated, and I'm trying not to. So we're not gonna.
Next is extremely dysregulated, so you can.
I think Hassan has bad logic. I won't call him stupid. You know, you can fill in.
Kel ran. Kel is ran. Another radical coder debate.
Actual fear.
Yep,
okay.
Can't handle it.
I gave her a chance. I asked her, "Fucking, you got something you want to say?" You know.
All right. So you guys wanted an example. So I'm happy to give an example. Okay. So there's a specific example. So Hassan, relatively recently, before the shock collar memes and everything, streamed a bad empanada video where he went over the FEC filings of a variety of fucking content creators and also other individuals involved with Progressive Victory, which listed their full names, their addresses, etc. A full docs. You can have an argument over whether it's docs if you're showing FEC filings. I think that's insane.
I think it was a bad thing to do.
Yeah, I think it's a bad thing to do regardless of whether or not you literally call it docs or whatever the case is. Okay?
Did he know what he was doing, Ryan?
Yes, he literally was watching.
No, I'm asking Ryan if he knew what he was doing.
Wait, if Hassan knew what he was doing? Probably.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
They had their full names and addresses just on the fucking video.
Did it have the actual address? I thought it was like zip codes or something.
No, it had the full addresses. Hassan's lie after... Okay. No. Hassan's lie afterwards. When people accused him of doxing, and this is the bad faith, Hassan said this was from this FEC website, which only lists zip codes and not addresses. So it's not even a dox. It's like saying I'm Hassan Piker from West Hollywood. That was his literal excuse. But if you just look at the fucking video that he watched, it has the full addresses listed. It's not just the zip. It's not the full names and zip codes. Which, by the way, the full names itself is already bad. The zip codes is also bad, but not anywhere close. But the full names and the full addresses are extremely bad. And Hassan watching Bad Empanada's video contains all of that, the full name and the full address. And he said, post that it didn't even show the full addresses. It said the names and the zip code. and he just completely fucking lied about that. And there's no reason to ever believe that was not bad faith, because you can just look at the VOD. He was literally looking at the screen, which contained the full address, when he said it was just the zip code later. That is absolute bad faith evidence.
Is there even anybody here who can't handle the idea that Hassan might be a piece of trash?
Because apparently a couple of people, yeah.
I mean, I'm indifferent to it. I think it's possible.
So I have no idea.
You think he's an intelligent man, though, right, Ryan?
Fake.
Smarter than me.
Like,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
We don't know him, right? Like, we don't know him personally, so we probably don't know what he's like off cam. All we see is the performance he gives, and that's what people pay him for.
You can't stream that long, Mel, without people seeing the mask lit. You can't hold it together for that. No human being can hold it together that long.
Well, I mean, homeboy in the upper right there would argue the mask has slipped a few times.
What do you think a career actor is?
Well, give me an example then. Because I'm having a hard time picturing.
Wait.
No, you stop. No, you fucking stop, Latavian, because I'm looking at this fucking Bad Empanada video right now, and all I see is states. I don't see zip codes even. I don't see addresses. All I see is I see full name and state.
All right, link me.
I'll send it to you in DMs. I'm not gonna.
I'm just gonna like as a
that
leftist.
would make
I
you
don't.
bad
I don't
faith,
need
right,
Hassan
Latavian?
to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Like my leftism is not.
Are you just repeating? Wait, are you repeating DGGer propaganda to me?
It could be. I could be wrong. But I'm happy to admit that very easily and very clearly.
Like if I wake up tomorrow,
it could be a different video, but he's clearly rolling through like the Progressive Victory Pact, and I see names that I don't like looking at this because I hate when I find out people's full names that I didn't know. I find that that was why I stopped watching like President Sunday when I learned Kylo's.
If true, that's a very bad example of his bad faithedness.
It would be in fact.
It would be.
And another dude like who looked and sounded like you could come on the panel later and say it's an example of your bad faith.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But I'm more than happy to disavow it. So.
But
well,
okay,
did we get clarification?
I could wake up tomorrow, right, and like I'll wake up in a world where Hassan isn't a good person anymore, and it will feel like the exact same world. I'll make the exact same decisions.
True, but you wouldn't notice the impact, right?
Because he doesn't impact me at all. Like,
but what I mean is like, well, like as a right winger, a young right winger or something like that, you're not going to really notice the impact of Kirk being gone now, right? You won't see that impact. It's a lack of impact.
I would argue right wingers need their talking heads a bit more.
Like it's negative information is what you're saying.
Kinda, yeah, I suppose.
You won't know what it is that you've missed, that you're missing, or what would have been.
And to be clear, America kills plenty of people all the time. If an American dies, I'm just like, okay, someone died. Time to treat it like
they made like a really big deal out of this Kirk stuff, and I was like, what are you talking about?
It clearly does.
Like people in other countries too, and I was like, that's what we do here. We shoot political people with guns. Like
Benji,
America, have you heard of it?
You don't hold on. Do you have a hard time understanding the logic on why it was a big deal, or are you saying it just shouldn't be, and you do understand why it was?
Well, logic, yeah. There's no logic.
Like, well, I'm genuinely curious. You're saying, well, yeah, this happens all the time.
I roughly understand the fifis of like normies,
right?
From studying them
after
for
30
for
straight years of right wing violence, something happens where a left winger commits violence on a right winger, and it really fucking got their panties in a twist. I understand.
All right, well, if you guys want to get into the real discussion, like, do you think this country moves off of grassroots or propaganda, a blend? And if it's a blend, what percentage would you give to both?
It's mostly propaganda, and anytime grassroots is successful, the FBI takes it over from the inside.
Well, it's not either or, and I know you said.
Well, no, it's just
that's a good point, actually, Fox.
I just want to gauge in because, like, you're saying, well, why are people
multi-factor? So
I didn't say why.
A huge thing is socioeconomics, right? The socioeconomic conditions of people can, in fact, tell you how likely they are to fall for something like Trump's propaganda. That is pretty much widely revealed in the research. But other things that have been revealed in research, right-wingers tend to handle nuance less. They tend not to look at wide ranges of sources or handle critical thinking, even understanding the concept and demonstrating that they understand the concept nearly as much as left-wingers. So there are differences between the two sides. And so also your political party affiliation might tell us a lot about your decision-making process.
Let me kind of give you my point of view, Denzian. I listen to NPR usually on my way to work.
I'm going to remember that. That's a good one.
Denzian,
That's
on my
not
way
a
to
new
work.
one, but it is one of my favorites.
Just hear me out. I listen to NPR on my way to work, so that's where I get my majority of pretty heavy left news. And then I listen to podcasts on the right. You know, I'm more right winger. I'm pretty far right on some issues, pretty liberal on some. But anyways, that's kind of where I stand. So when I listen to NPR, they're running news stories saying like, you know, this is how you cope with stress. There's a lot of that right now. Finding meaning. There's a lot of that. It seems women geared. There's also a lot of things about family and inner dynamics, that type of stuff. So that's the left wing stuff that I'm hearing. On the right wing, you have people talking about Kirk, and you know, there's also the same amount of like existentialism going on in that. So when a guy like Kirk passes or whatever, Hortman from my state, and people use it as a matchstick to get people really. These people are already desperate. Like families are ripped apart.
I think you're making it real quick. I think you're making a good point, and it speaks to Elite Eater's donation. Thank you, Elite Eater, for the $5. It says the logic was it was kind of a big deal. Then it got blown up artificially, or it was kind of a big deal. Then it got blown up artificially and made more politically, especially by the orange guy for their own gain. I think that's very true. And thank you again for supporting the stream.
All right. By the way, if there's a break in between stuff, I just wanted to make a comment about the previous.
Anyways, long story short, I think both left and right would do the same thing. Like you're saying, like, what's the big deal? This is a status quo in our country. You might be too young to understand. I don't think if a prominent
left winger were killed, that they would turn it his or her funeral into a political rally. I genuinely do not believe that.
Even
I mean, is George Floyd a equal reaction, or are you going to say it's not equatable, effigy?
No, I'll say it's like George Floyd's definitely equatable because he didn't even have to be a leftist. He's not even seen as a political enemy by them. He's just one of their victims in a narrative sense because
it's a matchstick. Yeah, exactly.
But they danced on his fucking grave. They fucking love death.
Yeah.
When it's their own side.
It's really crazy that the metric was for us after Kirk's death is that we had to show some kind of like grieving to them when after like George Floyd died, they were literally taking pictures of each other, kneeling on each other's necks.
And they used that to get at us. They weren't just making fun of George Floyd. They were using him as a political
They would tell you why though.
Denzian, that wasn't meant to be divisive. I was just trying to describe you how I see it and why both parties.
I know.
View this.
Unfortunately, it is inherently divisive, though, as are most people who live in America.
Well,
I think from my perspective, human feelings and like family dignity and the effect that stress has on not only our quality of life but our environment and future generations should not be a left-wing issue.
Well,
and being murdered over the things that you say should not be a right-wing issue, but alas,
if you agree with me, that's incredibly divisive. If you do agree with me, that's incredibly divisive. Then you should think that the reaction to Charlie Kirk was, like the only one that would have ever happened. Like you would understand, like, well, it wouldn't be the reaction. Why are you? What are you guys upset about? This is status quo now. It would be, well, yeah, of course they're going to do that. That's also kind of my point here.
Push back on you saying that.
Yeah, I told you that I understand why people get in their fifis.
Denizen, I
want to my bad. I misunderstood you.
Hi, can you guys even hear me?
Go ahead.
It's just not logical.
Yeah, it is.
Go ahead, Mel.
It's clearly not the case that
or maybe
emotional. Right-wing worry now that they're going to get shot for what they said. This is a one-off case. This is like worrying that you're going to get hit twice by like a super huge earthquake well after it's passed too. Knowing that like these earthquakes are just statistically rare. And that's all I have to say about that. If anything,
you don't give the right wing too much credit. They almost saw Trump.
If
they saw Trump get shot.
If anything, this is a function of how much they target trans people. And given how much they target trans people, if there's only been one bullet to make it into a right winger so far, I can say they can get away with a lot more with confidence before we see another.
I would love to transition into this topic, Mel. This is actually the reason I came up on panel tonight.
Okay, wait, whoa.
I was talking to Effigy before I even joined.
I was going to say.
All right, go ahead.
Is this going to be a smooth transition or a rough one?
Well, it's going to be rough because I'm going to be transitioning it back to our previous conversation before allowing you guys to do the prior one. So
speaking of transitioning,
yeah, exactly.
Touche.
So I was going to say, so yes, okay. After watching through, linking through, I was explained a wrong thing, and then I looked up a wrong thing. So relating to the Hassan Piker docs from the Bad Empanada video, so I was told that he had looked at FEC filings. And so I went and looked at the actual FEC filings, and the documents that I had listed out the full addresses from the first links that I clicked. Now, going back to the video shows it from a different link you can click down below, which does not show the full addresses. The full addresses are technically available from the FEC filing website. You can find them quite easily if you go and look at it, which I think is a little bit problematic, but it's not anywhere close to as bad as my original belief that he was actually showing the full address.
And he told the truth about what he did, which would be the good faith, bad faith part.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Hassan, rare Hassan W, perhaps common Hassan W even. Real quick before we debate that, Elite
we're not
Eater.
Even debating. I'm just agreeing.
Before we do that, Elite Eater donates $2. Says the aftershocks were from the far right on Charlie, which I also agree with.
Yeah. So just to be clear, okay, this is what good faith looks like. Good faith is I looked at the actual evidence once it was presented when people disagreed.
We really need you to show us. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I think this is important. Go ahead. I'm going to respond though.
Yeah, he's absolutely correct.
Yeah, I reviewed through it. I realized, okay, I still think it's bad, right? I think it's bad to show the full names of people whose full names are not out there. That is one itself, and it's bad. The fact that it also shows the zip code is a little bit worse because it helps you to narrow it down. But my initial perception was that it did also show the full addresses, because that is what I saw through the FEC filings when I went and looked at it when people told me about it. And so when I heard that there were FEC filings shown, that's where I went through it and was like, oh, okay, well, if you looked at the FEC filings show the full address. So when he's saying it didn't show the full address, that's where I thought that he was being bad faith or lying about it.
So you heard secondhand information, and your implicit bias allowed you to believe it without ever checking. Got it.
And I want to ask. Wait. I want to ask. Do you think? And I don't know because I don't watch this character very much anymore. But do you think that there is footage of a certain Stephen Bonnell saying that Hassan showed the addresses of these people on stream?
Probably,
Before
but
he answers, can I just say something to Rita in the chat?
Real quick, Joseph. Would that then be a bad faith representation of what happened?
Possibly. And I say possibly with like leaning towards it could be probably. I just don't know, because again, I saw clips where it was showing certain information. I looked up the FEC filing links and saw the full information, including the addresses. And so that's where I made the misconception where, yes, okay, if he's looking at the FEC filing links, then that does include the full addresses. And then I saw parts of the filing. So yes. So
just say willful ignorance would be bad faith, and then anything else, if you don't know, you don't know. But I just want to say one thing to Rita. I think her name was Rita in the chat. You were lambasting debate earlier, and here you see the beauty of it in action. Dude got something wrong. It might have even been a victory for the left here, but boom, that's what it's all about, baby. It's good stuff.
Nobody ever can call me better. I look up stuff. Okay, you present me with whatever counter evidence, I look it up. I make sure I confirm.
If these are the victories the left needs, then we have a long way to go before we start fighting fascism. Jesus. Yeah.
Well, I don't think the left needs victory. To be fair, I don't think the left needs these victories to fight fascism, right? Like, I would still work to this day with.
I'm just saying, one's
it really is a microcosm of our time.
Wait. Let Latavian finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, to this day, I would absolutely still work with Hassan to fight against fascists and the fucking crazy conservatives that exist. Like, even if I personally dislike them for a variety of reasons. And again, this was just the latest example where I was told about this thing. I can also give bad faith, but you
need help.
I'd be afraid
buddy.
he is.
Don't let them grill you on this. They're the ones saying that debate doesn't even matter anymore. You're the one correcting your opinion through debate. Mel makes a funny joke. I'll give him that, and
give her that.
And then they come right back and say that
I should change my name actually.
It's too rich.
And it's yeah. When they were attacking me for
hold on a second, and then to you, Ryan, that quip you just had, the goodness, like the sense in me that wants to be nice kicks in right away, but then my logical brain kicks in afterwards and says, I'm not helping anyone doing this, and if I care about somebody, I need to act a certain way.
Well, if you want to act that, hang on, real quick, Mel. If you want to act that way, hey Joseph, shut the fuck up. If you want to act that way, you can do it on someone else's panel, but you're not going to do it here. I'm just letting you know.
So, are you saying if I do the correct pronoun,
if you misgender people on my panel, I will boot you? Yes.
Not your definition of correct.
So let me hold on a second. This is between me and Ryan. So, if I refuse to use a pronoun through protest, does that also get me banned?
You just used a bunch of them, by the way, so good luck with that.
That's true.
Brother, why would you just use the fucking pronouns?
No, let's get into it. This is why I joined.
Or if you're not intelligent enough to have a conversation with a person and just avoid them, yet still being able, like,
Ryan,
you can just say, "Hey, Melanie," every time, right? You don't have to even approach the pronoun, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But if that is too much of a put out for you,
just said effigy. So quiet down and listen. How about that? So Ryan, moving past that, can you steel man what I said about how I addressed Mel? Can you steel man my point?
Yeah, you said that your initial reaction, allegedly to be nice, is to use she, and then you correct yourself with your quote unquote logical part of your brain, which I think is the part of your brain that is brainwashed into hating trans people.
That's incorrect. So what I said is that my initial reaction is to be nice through social. It's just a social reaction that we all have, and then another part of me kicked in afterwards that said, "Oh wait, you're not helping anyone doing this. You're not acting in the best interest of other people when you're doing this."
Well, if you want to stay on my panel, then you're not acting in your best interest by misgendering people. That's my rule. That's what I.
You don't even understand the argument. That is the greatest irony of all going on right now.
I can live with that. I can live with you feeling that way.
I think.
All right, so answer my second question.
He's literally saying it doesn't matter. He's saying if you misgender, regardless of the purpose.
I know. So now I'm asking him to answer my second question. If I abstain from using pronouns when talking to a certain person, is that form of protest also going to get me kicked?
Most likely not if you're just using someone's name. But if it starts
speech around here,
if it's yes, I do patrol speech around here.
Compel.
Potentially.
We can't really do that, right? Because that would imply like
I'm gonna reach through the screen like the ring girl and grab you.
Right. You shouldn't say yes to that, by the way, because you're not compelling speech. You're just saying, hey, if you are free to use the speech if you want to. I'm just not going to host it on my platform. That's not compelling speech.
That's not what I asked him.
I understand. Hey, wait, guys.
You specified it was compelling and not the other thing. So yes, it is what you asked him.
No, it's not. What I'm saying is, would he compel me to use pronouns? What I asked, listen, Mel.
Do you know what you're saying?
What I asked, no, you don't. So let me
clarify. Wait, Mel, give me a second.
In your head, can you keep track of what you're saying?
Mel, you don't know what I'm saying. So listen again, and I'll say it one more time.
Wait, Joseph. I know what you're saying. Can I explain what you're saying?
If I ask Ryan, can I abstain? And then say, or are you compelling me to use pronoun?
Yes, and I was answering you, but then you all started talking. So
well,
anyway.
I'm just trying to clarify because Mel.
Okay, well I'll clarify if you shut up for a second. All right, if you're Jesus. If you're using someone's name instead of a pronoun, whatever, I don't care. But if it starts to become something where like it's very obvious that you're like doing it passive aggressively, then I might boot you. I'll use my own discretion.
It's not. What do you mean passive aggressive? Have I not been plainly?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know when it happens. I'll use my own discretion. Like I said.
You think I'm out here to like destroy Mel's life? Like I don't care about them? This is
he
the
thinks you hate Mel.
that goes on in your people's minds. What I care about is
I haven't heard this guy use any 3-syllable words. I really think you use too much nuance for him there. That you're going to use your best judgment and making up your mind on the matter, which is actually quite reasonable and good faith.
Are you talking about Ryan being good faith right now? Because that's ridiculous.
No, Ryan is being absolutely good faith. Yeah, Joseph, you're free to
more good faith.
Ryan just asked me why I hate gay people. That's what he literally just asked me.
No,
you guys.
No, I didn't. I said you do. I didn't ask why. I said you do hate trans people.
Yeah, Joseph.
I thought you asked me why do I hate them. Same insinuation, but good clarification. Thanks.
Yeah, Joseph. If you just like, if somebody just has pronouns, like what is the reasoning that you give where you are like, yeah, you know what? I have this stance against this person's pronouns.
Let me try to explain to you how I view this conversation right now. The crazy part about it is that I joined to have a conversation on if what was it, effigy? What did I say in the chat? It was protection. So I joined this conversation to talk about if you are actually protecting them or if you are trying to be nice. And we cannot even get there. This conversation cannot even get to where it's baseline. Do you want to know how Ryan is protecting trans people right now? Because you guys are so upset he's spaghetti. You're so upset he's spaghetti. No, okay, go ahead, Mel.
Let's give the floor to Mel. Hey, shut up, Joseph. Go ahead, Mel.
So Ryan is protecting trans people, not just me, by having a space that doesn't out trans people for being trans, especially in passive aggressive or outwardly aggressive ways. So that way other people who are trans, regardless of their political leanings, because by the way, there are also right-wing trans people, can come on and not feel like that's going to be something that's constantly used against them while they're making otherwise decent arguments.
That's great for Ryan, and hopefully that argument is true for Effigy, and then he can use the same scapegoat because the question was posed to him. It's not a scapegoat. Well, okay. Well, anyways, it was posed to Effigy, and Effigy said he was protecting them, and it wasn't in the context of kicking people out of a safe space. The context was under, what was about to be debated.
How Ryan is doing that, not Effigy, and you said no.
Also, Joseph, you can literally, Joseph, there's literally no contradiction between being able to posit your point, your arguments, your position, while also still just using people's preferred pronouns. There is you could literally be arguing against the usage of preferred pronouns while using them and just saying, I'm doing it because it's socially acceptable. I don't think it's actually right from an argumentative perspective. Here's why. You can literally do that. Like you can do that.
But this is what you don't understand. In order to have the debate, I need to cede certain ground that I don't believe is logical or helpful or in the best interest of people.
You
right?
poor unfortunate soul. It's so sad for you. I'm so sorry. You're such a fucking victim.
All of those things have to go bye-bye in order to even talk to you about it. And that's what's crazy. In any other form of debate, you can...
No. This is why you're wrong. Okay?
Nonsense. You guys are crazy.
No, Joseph, this is why you're transphobic, okay? Because you can...
I'm not afraid of them.
Just chill.
Let Latavian talk.
Yeah. This is... the exact argument you just gave can be true of people who have a name but then get referred to by a nickname, because you can say that's not actually their real name, right? Like that's not their real, and to use their nickname concedes that that's a referent to them. Don't chill. So like if you're saying like, oh yeah, I can refer to this person by some nickname which isn't actually their real birth certificate name, that's not actually what their name is or whatever the case is, like that seems to me to be the same exact logic of like, well, yeah, I understand that their preferred pronouns isn't actually what their real quote unquote sex is and like all this other stuff, but like I understand that they have this preferred reference, whether it's a nickname, whether it's a pronoun, whatever.
I understand what you're saying. Why do you think the second question I asked Ryan was, is if abstinence from using that and just calling them by their name directly would suffice in his mind?
Yeah, but
why do you think that was my second? No, just why do you think that was my second question?
Yeah, I'm literally answering your question. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason it was your second question was because you don't want to use the preferred pronoun. So if there's a way to get out of it, such as just by using the name, which is a thing that does happen. Like, and Ryan said this.
That's not true. The reason I asked that is because when you use someone's direct name, the name is genderless. You can say, well, Sarah's a female name, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay, but use somebody's specific name is...
But listen, let me finish, please.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Go.
So that's why it's different for a name. But when I ask him, is it okay for me to abstain from using pronouns? He's saying, well, if it's a passive aggressively done, then yes, that is, you cannot do that. But what I'm saying is that if
well, I said, hang on, to be clear, what I said was I'll use my own. I don't have to let you finish. I'm in charge.
I understand that.
All right, go in charge. Go
I
ahead.
would appreciate if you let him finish. I would appreciate if you let him.
I'll do it for you, Latavian.
Now you got me derailed. All right, getting back on track. The difference is if when I abstain, it is also being passive aggressive, then I can no longer just use a direct name for them. Now it is a maximal buy-in. So if I do not use
it isn't inherently passive aggressive.
Whoa! Just let him finish. Let him.
It can be.
Hold on, just let him finish.
And he'll use his judgment to determine whether or not you're being passive aggressive.
It can be, and I would say for a person who doesn't like them, like who hates trans people, they might use it passive aggressively. I'm not one of them. I just don't think I'm doing them any favors. For instance, just a quick example, I don't think you're ever gonna get a country where this is. Let me rephrase this. This is how I feel about gay people. I don't hate them. I have just let me say my point. Just let me say my point. I don't hate them.
We're not letting you say your point.
I've got friends, but how I feel about it is I hope my kids never are because I want grandchildren. That's how I feel about it, and it maps on to the trans issue because I don't think they're ever going to find acceptance in the mainstream. It's always going to be bifurcated, and I think you're doing more harm than good, and I think the proof's in the pudding now. All right, that's my point.
Okay. Here's what I have to say about Joseph, just real quick. I got something real quick to say.
I mean, I was literally the one asking the question to Joseph.
And I'm going to be a bit passive aggressive about here, but I think it demonstrates the point. They have yet to actually use a 3-syllable word that you wouldn't hear like a 6th grader already use. So I'm starting to wonder if he's even smarter than a 5th grader, which is a TV show name, and that makes it funny.
Okay,
Mel, what's half of 3/16?
Half of 3/16?
1.5/16.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
No, that's wrong.
It's also 3/30 seconds.
There you go. Correct. So you can have knowledge like that. You can have good logic.
5th grader,
and then you can also have a robust. You can also have a robust recall of history.
Did you watch the show? Do you know what they actually did on the show?
On what show?
Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
No, I don't watch game shows.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Didn't like Jeff Fox really
5th graders come up and people do fucking trivia?
You experience the outside world very often, even through media.
Listen, your ad homs land flat, bro. You can say I can't use 3 syllables, blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. Contend with the argument, Mel. Contend with the argument.
Why do you think I use the pronoun they there? I said they can't use that. Why do you think?
Coded? Was it coded? Was I supposed to pick up on the riddle? Dude, I'm like 7 beers deep right now.
I'm always curious when people are indignant over pronouns, whether or not they have that same indignation over gendered pronouns being used for inanimate objects.
If you want to characterize the non-use of them as disrespect, I can't stop.
No. You didn't hear what I said.
If you want to pretend like we hate you, you can go ahead and pretend that way. It's not like,
here's my car. She's a beauty. Like, do you get pissed off at that too?
No. I do.
Absolutely not.
That's irritating as fuck.
Yeah,
well, hold on. Let Effigy cook here. Go ahead.
But that car doesn't have the correct genitals. Like,
okay,
and you're genderizing
does it have genitals? Fucking stupid.
It doesn't have the ones that match to the pronouns. No, I'm showing you how stupid your argument are.
No, you're not doing a good job.
Because the pronouns are explicitly based on gender here for this scenario, unlike the vehicle.
Yes, correct. This is a real.
Benji, I agree with you all the time.
It shows that you can genderize.
Hey, everyone, shut up for a second, real quick. Ryan, it's Ryan time. Growling Arachnid has just entered the back. I unfortunately only have 6 slots, but if somebody wants to, okay, well, thank you, Mel. Growling Arachnid, welcome.
Wait, why isn't Mel here? Did you have to kick Mel to have me here?
Yes. So Effigy, it's a dumb argument.
She left. She yielded her spot to you. So how do you feel about kicking the trans person for your spot?
I feel bad for that. Can I get that spot back to her?
Well, she's not in the back. If she comes back, I'll happily bring her back up instead of you. But
she said she's the
yeah. Just let me know when that happens, right? Yeah. I feel bad for that. Dude.
Fucking Mel is. God damn it! See, I fucking got to catch myself more often. I'm too nice.
Joseph, chill. So Effigy, the reason that's a dumb argument is because you can just simply say for inanimate objects that what gendered language you use doesn't matter. But for people where gender is a thing that people have, it does matter. That's the reason why your argument is not a good counterpoint.
Well,
but like the argument that seems to be based in the idea that the pronoun is not being used correctly, even though that we have these examples where pronouns can be used to genderize something, not to just reflect the gender of it.
Let me ask you this, FG.
So language-wise, it doesn't seem like it's being used incorrectly at all.
Let me ask you this, FG.
No, just to be clear, I didn't say it was being used incorrectly. I said it was being used in a way where it doesn't matter because it's not mapping onto the actual gendered concepts of like sex that we talk about. That's what I was saying.
Let me ask you this, FG. Do you think it's possible to normalize it in our country? So we're talking 70% plus, maybe 65, 70% normalization?
I think there are trans people out there that you wouldn't even know are trans, and you would use those anyway. So
no, I'm asking about normalization.
You have to discern the fact and
He's
then make
asking
an
if
active
70%
decision.
of them were trans. Would you be okay with that? If 70% of the population were trans,
Wait,
were
no,
you
that's not what he's saying.
Whoa, no.
Maybe I shouldn't have used the word normalization.
Sorry, FG's point.
Just let me clarify.
Wait. Oh, sorry. FG's point is actually really, really salient because what FG is saying is there are trans people that will easily surpass the percentage number that you're talking about, where people use.
That's not what I mean by normalization. It's much simpler. What I'm saying is do you think you can get to that percentage where people will accept it, but not only accept it, but it moves past things like racism, where people don't have all these weird prejudices about it, where they want to avoid these people and do not hire them, like this type of thing. Do you think we'll ever get to that threshold, FG?
Yes. Did people in the 1940s and 50s think we'd ever get to a place where people weren't overtly racist in society every single day?
See, this is where I think you guys have like a logical, like you're missing a neuron or something, and you guys think you can break the wheel. People
it's just a matter of not being a dick. It's really that simple. It's not being a dick.
It's a matter of
asking you to break reality or anything.
Humans have not figured that out.
Psychoanalytic theory 101. You're never gonna surmount the type of shit you're dealing with. And when you try to create an acceptance culture and you get people through the door on this, and a lot of the times it's like fetish and well, anyways, it's like you're creating an acceptance.
Is it acceptable in society to walk around in public calling black people the N-word? Is it?
People hear this.
Answer the question.
Like say you're a young man. What was the question?
Is it socially acceptable to walk around either online, in public, wherever, and just straight call black people the N-word and not have repercussions? Because it was.
Nowadays, no.
So you're saying people can be changed. Things can change.
So
you know what else? Real quick. You know what else?
It's a non sequitur. It's 100% non sequitur.
It's super relevant. But before you answer, what else? Another thing that can change is that the stream could end in less than 10 minutes if we don't meet the goal.
That's brutal, dude. Can y'all get some money?
Yeah, the growling arachnid. I thought you said you would get the next dollar.
Get your pup out, Ryan. The puppy's always bringing the dough.
Feed my weenie.
But this is a non sequitur because you're saying, well, people use a slur in the past and they don't anymore because it's no longer socially acceptable. But the slur is different than a pronoun, right? In so many ways, we could have an hour talk on how different those.
But in the intention of it, it's very similar. In this entire thing, the intentions are very analogous.
Well, Joe, let me try to steel man you here. You're saying, well, Joe, we used to have a culture back in the day where things were acceptable, but nowadays they're no longer acceptable through your most hated word, wokeness, or just whatever, the change of culture. And well, if that can change, Joe, why is it so crazy to think that
social conditioning?
Yeah, and this is what I mean when I think you guys are missing a neuron. Like when I ask people who believe in utopia or something like that, like humans can change, we're not confounded by certain limitations biologically, like people look out for themselves, number one, their family, number two. You're never going to change that, and I don't think you're ever going to change unless, like, this is when it'll change, in my opinion, when you have people who are starting to be born with vaginas and penises or something like that. That's when it'll change. But until then, people are always going to be pre-wired to have these notions. So when I ask you, Effigy, you think you're protecting them, what does that mean? I think you're just being nice, and I won't call you lazy because I won't say it's lazy because maybe you think you are trying to protect them, but I just don't think you are. I think you're creating
why
wouldn't I be? It's going to take generations to play out, and it's not going to look nice for them. And I want the best for everybody.
Because a bunch of bigots are going to come after them? Like, what are we talking about? What are you talking about?
It's going to be a life of lone. People will avoid them. This is just how people are,
bro.
Maybe in
everyone here wants to avoid you.
Then kick me off, dude.
I'm demonstrating.
I don't feel that way, to be fair.
Well, okay. Well, I think a lot of this conversation has been about
wanting to avoid people like you. Joseph.
Just saying, man. Like, my analogy works fine, and racists still exist in large numbers.
A little bit of shit.
But they don't want to avoid racism
like they did.
Right. People who I meet in real life, I get along with. We all have a great time. We laugh. We have fun. Okay. You don't need to take it to that place. You don't need to get all up in your feels. Not real life. It's okay. We're just talking, dude.
Based on our interaction, a lot of our interactions, I don't really want to hang out with you. Like, you would not be like part of my friend group. I wouldn't like when you're around.
Wow, that's kind of mean,
right,
bro.
Well, thanks for
that's
putting
crazy.
That out there.
I'm just being real.
That's kind of mean, bro.
I literally, I wouldn't like. You're not like a dude I want to hang out with.
Well,
like,
no, let me say this a different way, okay?
Ryan, I probably wouldn't hang out with a guy who does his hair, but it's okay.
I would give all of y'all a beer, a cigarette, and a joint. I would give all of y'all that.
How about that one?
No, okay. The main thing here is that, Joseph, we're on a political channel, right? So, like, you're expressing political positions that a lot of people disagree with. That informs whether or not they want to hang out with you. Whereas in real life, I doubt you're having the same exact kinds of conversations that we're having on these panels.
Well, you think I'm stupid and I'm gonna start talking politics? Get real, dude.
So yeah, you just confirm.
You know, like if it's liberal, you know how to talk to them, and if you know they're one of your boys, then you talk to them a little bit different. And then if you're all together,
but why wouldn't it be easy to like talk liberal with everybody? You know, everyone's liberal.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be easy to like talk liberal if you're like liberal? If you know everyone's liberal. Why wouldn't it be easy to talk that way?
I got a buddy named Matt. He's part of the pipe fitters union out here in Minnesota, and when Biden cut his fucking contracts, he ended up losing a bit of work.
Joseph, real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. Are you a Riga?
A what?
What's a Riga?
The fuck up with you,
Joseph, I want to.
Does that mean that he's pro-Reagan? Could you explain that?
No. I want to hear you say I'm a Riga. I'm a radical coder fan. That's what Riga means. So,
that's not what that means.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Stop.
I want to hear. Joseph say
I will kick all of you. Stop this now.
I want to hear how.
No, we don't need to do that.
I stood up for you.
Hold on.
I swear to God.
Here you go, buddy. Ready?
No.
I'm not doing it.
I don't want this. I don't want this game.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. But what I'm saying is, I had one buddy who was liberal, and we would have beers and fucking argue all the time. Also, my stepbrother, we have a good time doing it. But it's hit or miss. Some people, those are the guys who get pretty emotional, and you're not going to do it.
No, I get it.
Some guys can handle it.
I get it. I get it.
Some guys will freak out and call you fascist, stupid, and fucking whatever, anything under the sun. But some people can handle it in good stride.
No, actually,
and that's kind of my point here.
No,
Hey, Joseph. What if some of your homies?
No, let Growling talk. He just got here. Go ahead, Growling.
What if some of your homies went trans? How'd you feel about that, though?
Oh, I would fucking, if they were my friends, they knew they would have some shit talk coming. So it would be like, oh, that's.
So what you're saying is they would probably be scared to come out to you.
Hold on.
What you're saying is they would probably be really uncomfortable. They'd probably be really uncomfortable communicating that to you because you're an asshole to them.
Dude, you have this preconceived notion of me in your head. Just let me answer the question before you.
It's based on the things you're communicating. Yeah, it's actually deduced from the things you're saying, dude.
If it was my friend and they did that, first off, they would have already known my feelings on it. That's number one.
It'd be weird,
number
right?
two,
It would be weird.
They would viciously be mocked. Like, I'd be like, oh, what's up, dude? That's a cute dress. And they would fucking laugh it off because that's the type of relationship we would have. It's not like I would fucking instantly start hating them. Like, oh, you're no longer my friend anymore because blah 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 blah. You guys keep have this mind worm where you think if a person disagrees with the ideology that they hate the person. And
Joseph, would you use the preferred pronouns?
Fuck no.
Would you do it for your homie though? Because I would, just because I like that nigga. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't. Like, I've already made this. I'll make this argument one more time if you guys want me to, but it's no. I don't think it's in the best interest of anyone,
and these people, these people are asking you to. They're asking you to do that. Like, hey, can you?
I'm not normalizing it because it's not in the.
Okay, hold on.
There's no normalizing it. You're not breaking the wheel here. No one's breaking the wheel. There's no utopia.
Yeah, y'all gotta appeal why it's okay for him to normalize it. Y'all gotta appeal to that.
Hold on. I'm actually curious, genuinely. Joseph, what do you mean by
you have to appeal to this societal thing instead of just not being a dick?
Yeah, hold on.
I'm not a dick. You think I'm being a dick when I'm fucking razzing my boys?
Yeah, what's wrong with you being a dick? Yeah.
Apparently,
I don't like this person.
Apparently, yes.
Well, let me flip this on you, Effigy.
Joseph, I'm trying to ask you a
question. You think it's a dickish thing if you know my views for you to come up to me and expect me to use something that you know? Wouldn't that be the initiating thing?
If they consider you a friend, if you have that special relationship and being a friend,
I'm talking about my friend,
you could ask someone that.
The goal ends in
Friends
30
usually
seconds,
go the
by the way.
extra mile,
This torture session's about to end, so.
Okay,
come on, Chad, keep the torture going.
All right.
There you have it.
So Joseph,
well, thanks for platforming me and my bigotry, Ryan. You don't know anything about me, but thanks for all the straw man.
Joseph, genuine question, okay? What do you mean when you say it's not good? To use pronouns.
By the way, you are
you cut out there. What were you saying?
Sorry. Okay, let me just. Okay, Joseph. What do you keep saying? It's just not good. It's not good for them or healthy for them. Like to use their pronouns. What do you mean by that? What are those?
So, yeah, what would be nice and lazy or easy, not lazy, easy for me to do would be to do that, and I catch myself doing it all the time. I have to.
I'm asking you a very circular. What is about it?
Thank you, Fluzzy, keeping the show going with 9 minutes. Thank you, Fluzzy. You guys are making my mods pay for the stream.
Because
I want.
This is what. Let me answer this question quick. I'll try to keep it concise for you.
Talk to the host
why it's bad?
Okay. Hey, Mel, you have the floor.
Is Arachnid still there? Because if so, I do need to just quickly say something, then dip.
He bounced, but go ahead.
Okay,
he can come back.
I'll let them have their autism session.
From a fellow autist, huh?
Definitely.
Anyways, why it is bad is because if like you have a local group of people and they all come to the same mind think, then they can raise a community of people who will make this person believe that they'll be okay in the world and they'll be successful if they do or XYZ.
I'll tell you. I'll be honest. I am genuinely not understanding what the fuck you're saying.
Right, Joseph. If your friend's name was John and he asked you to call him Nick, would you do it?
You know, I am still waiting to say something. Thanks, Effigy. That was like my chance to get in there, and you literally
go ahead, Mel. Mel, the floor is yours.
Joseph, and I hope you'll think about this because this is actually meant to mean something. You are my favorite sissy with a capital C.
Am I really?
Yes, you are a cisgendered male. Is that okay?
What does that mean?
It means you're not trans.
Are you sure about that, Al? I think you might be really repressed.
Are you?
Wait, you're telling me you don't know what the word cisgender means?
Did you almost say misgender?
I think you may have just broken Joseph's brain.
I'm a what now?
Do you know what the opposite pronoun for trans is?
Yeah, Joseph, you know what a sissy is, right?
I think he's pretending here. I think
a sissy is like a guy who dresses. It's like a cross dresser, right?
Yeah. So I'm just changing.
Pretty much.
Letter.
So what?
I'm changing the first letter, right? From S to C.
What are you saying? Speak plainly.
Joseph, if somebody said you're cisgender, do you know what that means?
No. Oh well, I think I know what it means.
You feel so strongly about trans people.
Hold on, Joseph. What do you think it means?
I think it means that you're like the. So if somebody says you're a trans man, what cisgender means is that you're a man, right?
You're not trans, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So I'm not a cisgender person.
I'll give him
I'm a
credit.
man.
Credit where it's due. He was paying attention to my explanation.
I think I'll be totally honest. I think Joseph is actually.
Well, listen. Anyways,
pretty good to be fair.
Mel said that I was Mel's favorite. So
Ryan, you are.
Oh, I was screaming at you guys. I was like, shut the fuck up. But yeah, I was muted. Okay, thank you, Elite Eater, for the $5. Elite Eater says, usually when they or them is used, when you talk about them, not to them, so it's more charged in this way. And he says, autist with some bucks here. Thank you, autist with some bucks.
Ask him for some more bucks.
Please give me more bucks.
I mean, it's not trans people running around demanding. Well, I mean, especially when we do want to feel welcome somewhere, we do point out, hey, like you're just like totally fine with people not using our pronouns. But like we're not the loudest voices. It's like Democrats using us as a wedge issue for political stuff, who care so much about using pronouns that like even if you do it by accident, they'll give a shit. And then it's us trans people have to explain like, no, if you get it wrong by accident, we understand, you know, just kind of if you show you give a shit, then we understand you give a shit, right? And so
I had a friend who was trans, and I've never seen so much anxiety exude from a person in my life, and I don't think that's healthy. And I don't think like you're going to change culture in a way where they're not going to be that anxious. It's not healthy. And I don't think it's necessary for them to.
But you're also not going to make a world where they don't exist.
Can I address this for once? Because this is something
I'm just speaking plainly. You can
Mel, you have the floor. Mel has the floor.
Good Lord.
So the problem is that we've looked at what happens to these people's anxiety when we try to tell them to go back into the closet per se. And the problem is that their anxiety goes up. They may not express those parts of themselves anymore, but they talk about not feeling like they're really alive anymore, or that there's a purpose to living, or that they want to go outside. And the problem with that is that you would expect, if it's helping them, that they would take on a more social attitude, right? So it turns out letting them transition actually does decrease their anxiety. And that's why we started doing that in the medical field.
Yeah. Okay. So Mel, I'm gonna.
I don't know. I think that's that would be a fact that's hard to disprove.
So Joseph, let me ask you. Wait, Mel. Just let me go.
You've got so many responses, dude. The gay community had the same effect done to them when conversion therapy happened to them too. And guess what? It turned out just accepting them for who they were is a lot better for that anxiety than trying to tell them they're not actually gay.
Mel, there's a better question to ask here.
Accepting you for who you are, who your plastic surgeon wants you to be.
Just to be clear, I agree with both the questions that are really good questions. But there's a fundamental better question to ask Joseph, in my opinion, which is, Joseph, if you found a study that said that using trans people's preferred pronouns drastically reduced suicidality, okay? Like, let's just imagine you saw this study and it was conclusively, yeah, hey, listen, if somebody says they're trans and they've got these preferred pronouns and you use them, that like drastically reduces their suicidality. They're not going to die to a significant degree if you use it. Would you say it's correct to use their preferred pronouns then?
No.
So you're saying?
Well, damn.
You're saying you are, even though you could do an advocate an action that drastically reduces the amount of dead people, that like these people that are killing them, even if you don't agree with them being trans fundamentally, if you just use their preferred pronouns, it would lead to them not killing themselves. Because I assume you want people not to kill themselves, right? Like you would just want to convince them that they're cis. You're saying that even in those cases, that it would drastically reduce the amount of dead people that you think you could help. You're still not willing to say, yeah, I'm okay to use their preferred pronouns. That's the better option to them killing themselves. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm not. Or yeah, that is what I'm saying.
All right.
Growling has returned.
Yeah, he's fucked. Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Go do whatever you want to. Yeah. You're good. Okay,
that was really loaded. That was really loaded. So at least give me a rebuttal here, quick. Have you ever known anybody who's taken their life that you cared about?
Yes.
Yep.
You think it's so simple as just loving them a little bit more, or like how do you view that
or
that
changing their
situation?
pronouns?
I think
can be, yes.
Yes. I think it's a matter of multiple people's caring about it more. And the problems that I'm having with the position is that you're advocating for a societal position to not accept preferred pronouns. So you're not only advocating for individual behavior, you're advocating for like multiple people to behave this way, and that absolutely adds definitively to the amount of suicidality that occurs. Whereas
I don't let me respond here. I don't think you understand, unless you've been there. I don't think you really understand what goes through a person's mind, or what type of
Joseph, you don't know
what
who
type of.
Joseph.
I know you're triggered, but let me finish my statement.
No. I'm not gonna.
Calm down. Calm down. Let me finish.
I will.
Stop with the whoas. Just hold on. Just calm down. Take a deep breath and let me finish. Let me finish what I was saying.
You don't know who
Let
I
me
am.
finish what I was
all
saying,
have
dude.
people who died. We all have people who
Yeah, yeah.
Calm
We're all
down.
adults here.
No, you all calm down. You all calm down. Shut the fuck up. Look, yeah, we all have dead people, dude.
I am
Yeah,
calm,
Joseph,
Brian.
don't pull this. Don't
You
pull
guys
this.
are all
Oh, you've never been around someone who has suicidal tendencies. Everyone fucking knows someone who killed
Are you gonna
themselves.
start
Dude. It fucking
mocking
sucks.
dead
We all
people
know
who
it.
kill themselves? Like, what are you doing?
But that's not what he's doing, though, dude.
Then let me finish what I was saying. Good lord.
But you're implying that other people are like mocking the
All I
dead.
want to say, you said you don't actually understand. I said I've had.
All right, keep going, and then hopefully I get to respond at some
I will.
point.
I'll allow you to respond after Latavian points out.
Totally fine. I'm totally fine. I've had multiple very close friends kill themselves. I've talked to them for a long period of time. I've read about it. I've done a bunch of research. I understand why people kill themselves. I understand it's not as simple as one specific conversation. That's all I'm saying. That you straw man to say like, oh, I'm saying it's like one little thing that can make it better.
What straw man? You wouldn't let me finish my point.
No, you said the very first thing you said.
You literally cut me off, followed by like 3 others.
Yes,
Just
correct.
Finish your fucking tangent and let me finish my point.
Correct, Joseph. When you started with a straw man, I cut you off immediately. You're correct. You are.
What was the straw man? What was the straw man?
Point Latavian, so he can get to his.
You know what?
You're
right. My straw man.
You're right, Effigy. Okay, go.
Fucking asshole. Dude, I'm done with this. You guys are ridiculous.
No, Joseph, go. I'm. Okay. I guess we're done. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's what happens when you're cornered. Like that's all that was really.
It was
like,
literally. It was literally like, hey, listen. You just said I obviously don't know. I don't know anyone who's. I was like, I've literally had some of my best friends commit suicide. I do know this. Like, why?
Yeah, it wasn't the point. That's not why he left, right? It was because he was out of avenues. He was cornered, like rhetorically. Like,
oh no, I agree. I'm just saying, like, from a more
at some point he had to admit, I just want to be a dick because, and like every reason of the because just ends up being because I don't like him, because I hate him. You know, it maybe not.
Yeah, what's wrong with that though? What's wrong with that?
Listen, I was saying this. The moment
what do you mean? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what is wrong with that? Why can't he just?
I'm just let me just.
Yeah, like, there is like some bad.
It's a gross mischaracterization of what he said. That could be a first.
Listen, the moment he said that even if using preferred pronouns would like actually save a significant portion of people's lives, and he was like, "Nah," I was like, "Okay, there's no point. I don't know what." Like,
well, yeah, because he doesn't have to care for everybody else, right? No one has to do that.
Well, no, when he's
like, yeah, you're cool if you do that, but like, yeah, you're a better person than everybody else, I guess, if you do that. But to ask that everyone do that, I'm like, that's a hard ask, dude.
When you're using suicidality as a way to get like an emotional justification for not doing something, and you're fundamentally wrong because you're talking about somebody else's suicidality, and a lot of this comes down to whether or not you can take identifying with your genitals for granted, and he will never understand how it's an existential crisis for so many trans people to not be able to transition to the point where you become suicidal, and he won't understand that till he wants to. And that's the thing, right? Like, he's clearly in a state where he's biased against wanting to understand those sort of things.
Oh, 100%. Because I've actually convinced so many.
It comes down to how much he cares for that person. If he's not willing to like give that up because he cares for that person, it's like, okay.
Not even that.
But also, sorry, just to point this out. Also, if he can listen to them as an equal, or even like as an authority on their own experience, right? Because if I tell my partner this is what it's like to be trans, I'm going through something, I need your help, and they're like, it's not that big of a deal, well, then I don't feel like they're in this with me, right? And that's a big issue.
Yeah, they're not in that with you. What you're asking is for everyone to be in that struggle with you.
No. What we're asking is for respect along the lines of what's the point of making someone.
It takes them getting over it for them to give respect. You know what I mean? I mean, you can see that.
I think there's like a secondary thing. Like the vast majority of people are going to implicitly or explicitly or just agree that they care about the health outcomes, the life outcomes of the vast majority of people. Like.
Not the vast majority. People just care about like what's in their plan, bro. Yeah.
Real quick, guys. Hey, I want to.
I don't.
That's virtue signaling.
No, but like what I mean by that is just like I've actually convinced a wide variety of conservatives about trans health issues, with the absolute line of like, listen, the research just points to doing this thing saves people's lives. You may not agree, but that's just the way healthcare works. It's like we're always looking for the thing that saves the most people.
Well, what happens if they don't think?
Wait! This is a great moment to. I just want. It's only 4 minutes long. We can pause it at some points, but Elite Eater has donated a lot of money tonight, and I want to thank him by playing the video.
Oh, that was your Elite Eater. My bad, dude. My bad.
Okay, pause it. I gotta say something.
You got it, Mel. Okay, let's see.
Geese, goose, and other goose. Goose finds a fact, solid, verifiable, breadcrumb certified. Goose holds it out to other goose. Other goose flaps, scoffs, calls it fake bread, and honks louder. Not because other goose hates truth, but because it made them feel exposed, threatened, wrong. And in some ponds, being wrong is worse than being dishonest. Number 1, why facts backfire. Goose thought facts were enough. But brains aren't spreadsheets. They're nests. Messy, layered, emotional. And when you throw a fact into the wrong nest, it doesn't get adopted. It gets set on fire. This is called motivated reasoning. Other goose doesn't weigh info evenly. They defend what makes them feel safe, not what's true, what's familiar. Number 2, belief equals identity. Some beliefs are facts. Some are armor.
With respect, I feel like we understand what's happening. I feel like we all understand this already.
I actually have a problem.
I feel this video in my bones.
I actually have a problem with this video.
Okay, pray tell. We'll come back to it maybe.
My problem is that it implicitly implies that there's like one objectively true side and one not true side. Like it's like, oh, we have this one goose who has super motivated reasoning that doesn't fall prey to these biases, that does XYZ. Then we have this other goose who like has motivated reasoning, whatever. And like the issue I find with it is like I feel like every side.
So it started with the premise that there are objective facts that you can find in the world. Like it's not talking about this specific situation, right? It's just from the premise of objective facts, which there can be.
Do you believe in objective facts?
No.
Do you believe in that?
No, okay.
Yes, objective truth is found in reality. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This guy's based. All right. Continue. Sorry.
Chill. I agree that there are objective truths about reality. I agree with that. The problem is that it creates this impression of there's this one goose who accesses the correct reality all the time and is right, and there's this.
I don't think it's not relying on that.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that you said that. I just said the problem I'm having.
It's not relying on that.
No, I said the video didn't say that.
I didn't say the video said that either.
You just
talking about.
You just did. You literally did.
Sorry. Just to be clear, when I'm saying the video says that, I'm talking about the way you engage with the video, not literally what the person talking on the video says. Like,
so here's the actual issue, and it's that yes, there are some issues that people take on an emotional level in that nest way, but for things that people don't already have an implicit bias to, they're much more likely to use reason and maybe even more critical thinking. It has a lot to do with whether or not you've been raised, or in a lot of ways, or a lot of times, to have that bias, or indoctrinated, or there's plenty of other ways you can have that bias around that thing, or if it's just like a neutral kind of subject. If it's neutral subject, you can be interested or disinterested. And interest will make you want to get more information, but disinterest means you're probably not going to have a position, and you're just going to be like, I don't know enough about this to have a position. I don't care.
100%. Okay, I'm just going to do a really quick, really stupid poll. Okay, there are 6 of us that just watched the first 1 minute, or 5 of us that would just watch the first 1 minute 40 whatever seconds. Did you relate more to the person on the left that saw the objective truths, or the person on the right that was biased and didn't see objective?
I've certainly been the person who's biased on the right in the past.
I asked, what like when you watch that video, who did you think?
Yeah, I'm sidestepping part of your question, but I'm implying the answer that now I identify with the person on the left more.
I feel like a third goose.
Okay.
Third goose.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So Mel, that's totally fine. Your answer is, I kind of felt like the person on the right for a bit, but now I'm the person on the left. FFG, what was your response?
I think everyone is more likely to.
I'm not asking. I don't give me that bullshit. Okay, just give me like.
No, I'm saying I'm part of this. I think everyone is going to align with the left goose. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I was
including myself. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was asking for your personal thoughts, not just like I think everyone. That's why I was. So Den is the next.
So the problem is everybody thinks they're the goose on the left when really they're the goose on the right.
Yes, and so my problem with the video is that
Krugers.
Yes, so my problem with the video is it creates a really distinct line between the person on the left is correct and right in their positions, but
for all we know, it could have gotten into this. They could have just been saving that for
that's totally fine. Yes, totally. You're totally right. But we only watched a minute and 47 seconds because
Ryan.
Is fucked. But like. What I'm saying is though, right, is like at least the initial portion of it, it really frames it as like there's this good side of objective truth, and then there's this like evil side, and I feel like.
Well, let's find out if it gets to it.
Be the third goose.
Wait. Keep it. All I'm just finish my thought is, I feel like conservatives are gonna watch this video, and they're gonna just say I'm the left position, and it's the liberals, leftists that are on the right that don't accept this fact. And then,
well, that's fine. This is helpful to both parties, right?
No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. All I'm saying is, but then when Democrats watch this video, they're the left and the conservatives are the right. So like the problem is that it doesn't start from the position that everyone is like this. It starts off from the position of there's this objective truth teller, objective truth knower, and this not objective truth knower. But everyone's gonna read themselves into this not objective truth. Like nowhere, like they're gonna read themselves into the correct position.
Okay, we understand. We understand your point.
Yeah,
can we get a fucking
video? May I actually just make a really quick quip? The real question is where we align on the chaotic evil to lawful good spectrum.
I'm chaotic good, and I'm gonna start the video on that basis.
Questioning them feels like tearing feathers off your own wings. Because in many ponds, to change your mind is to lose your flock. Other goose doesn't reject the data because it's wrong. Other goose rejects it because if it's right, they might lose their friends, their family, their entire pond. And that hurts more than a lie. Number 3, shame, pride, and the backfire loop. Other goose isn't evil. Other goose is scared. Because saying, I was wrong isn't just hard, it feels humiliating. And shame is a loud honk that drowns out reflection. Better to double down than feel small. So other goose stays convinced. Not because it's true, but because it's safer. Number 4, echo chambers and cult ponds. Some geese live in info bubbles. Every honk they hear agrees with them. Any breadcrumb that doesn't gets called propaganda. Just like with cults. We got the wrong prophecy date? No problem. We misread the stars. The real honk is deeper. Conspiracies. Counter evidence is seen as proof of how powerful they are. They're hiding the truth. That's why you're showing me this. Politics. Fact check other goose's favorite goose, and suddenly you're the problem. You're biased. You hate our pond. It's not about facts. It's about allegiance and fear and shame. Also, info bubbles, they don't build themselves. The algorithm sees what riles you up, then serves more of it, spicier, louder, and angrier. Because an outraged goose is an engaged goose, and engagement makes a line somewhere go up. So now Other Goose isn't just stuck. They're being fed the same fear every single day, on purpose, by a machine that doesn't care about who it hurts. Number 5. What actually changes minds? Facts help, but only when there's room to hear them. Minds change when Other Goose feels safe enough to be wrong, when there's trust, when there's slowness, when questions get asked instead of traps being set. Stories help, relationships help, conversations in actual reality help. Gentle curiosity does what yelling never could. Final Goose wisdom. Goose has learned you can't honk Other Goose into seeing clearly. You can only show what it looks like to change your own mind and survive it, because some geese never leave their bubble. Like, honk, subscribe, or point out.
So I think the biggest issue there is if you want to take the title as the geese never do, or they sometimes don't. Because if it's talking about a plausible mechanism, which I think it is, because it got into like a particular form of extremism and niche kind of like online microculture that's not applicable to everybody, that's for sure. So I think you're supposed to like discern who this does and doesn't apply to. So if you're arguing that like maybe you should have put sometimes in there or made it more explicit that you could very much be the goose watching this, which I don't even think is that effective. Some way to break through that, then sure. But I that's might just be one of the biggest issues of getting through to humans on something that we just don't want to be gotten through on.
My biggest problem is the fact that like, why bother with Goose and others? Just be like, Goose believes these things. Like, why not just explain all the same things they just explained? But instead of saying there's this one Goose who's rational, reasoned, true, not biased, whatever, and then there's this other biased, unreasoned, like, just be like, Goose believes these things, and this is how you appeal to them.
I think he did a good job explaining what happened there. He felt trapped, right? Because he didn't feel like he admitted he was wrong.
No, I don't. Listen, Mel. I don't disagree with the analysis. I totally agree with the analysis of why people don't rationally engage with stuff. The problem I have with the video is it sets up a dichotomy of this perfectly rational, enlightened Goose and the irrational.
A lot of storytelling devices do.
Right. I think the video assumes that either side of the coin is going to assume that it's the protagonist in the story, right?
Yes,
it is made for both sides of that divide.
But it's made in both sides.
See it.
Say, yes, you're right. You're right. I have you 100%. It's made for both sides to be able to address better the other side, which is a goal you can have that's admirable by itself. But what I'm saying is it creates this perception that one side isn't irrational, isn't affected by all the same biases the other one isn't. But every single person is affected by every bias, every communication pattern, all the stuff the video outlined.
Or could it be a contingency, right? Could it be like the more biased you get, the more that this becomes true, the more that these underlying forces are probably at play because it's talking about that dichotomy?
No.
What underlying forces?
No, not at all. Because
like not being able to, just to answer Dennison, not being able to admit you're wrong because you feel like you might be ostracized from your group.
No, listen, everything the video described. Pretend there was never an original Goose, okay? Pretend this video was just, it said once it got to the other Goose, every single thing the video said is just true, okay? Because I agree essentially that's the case.
Yeah, I think you're confusing storytelling with truth value, right? Like the goose scenario in there wasn't meant to have immediate truth value. It's kind of like a safe for the sake of argument type thing.
No, When I say
no, yeah. See,
hold on.
the objective truth part wasn't the through line of the story. It was the encountering of people with beliefs. The beliefs is the through line of the story. The objective truth is just showing like how someone would react to that. By the time you get to the middle of that video, they're talking about how different beliefs interact with each other. They've already left the objective truth idea behind. Because they're talking about echo bubbles, and they didn't say that if you leave one echo chamber, you should jump into another one. That wasn't implied at all at the end of that video.
Yeah, but the opposite isn't implied at all either, right?
Sure, it is. It's telling you you're all in a bubble. Bubbles are bad. You shouldn't be.
Except for the good goose.
It's not. That's the point. The good goose is not in a bubble.
Yeah, the smart goose gets it.
I'm the
he
good
can
goose.
see objective reality right there. He knows he saw the breadcrumb
Well, how
trail.
can somebody who is following objective facts be in a bubble?
Sorry, Mel.
Well, Mel, I mean, come on. Think about that for 40 seconds.
Sure, but there has to be at least somebody who is, right? We're not all irrational.
No, but you're missing the point entirely. Like, I feel like no one's engaging with what I'm saying. Like,
I think I have my moments. And
No,
just like
I'm not speaking in absolutions, but I'm saying there's enough of us who are capable of being rational
Like
you're
you
not
yourself
even,
said,
engaging with
it's a lack of belief that helps. No, and I would say that
it's a lack of
that's where I would identify with the good goose is because I was raised that way.
It was lack of bias, and I think there's a distinction there because belief might actually have afterthought and forethought.
Right, but you said bias is something that you're taught. So if you're not taught a certain position, you have no position on it to begin with. It's easier for you to be investigative and
which that
and
did get
skeptical
into.
instead of
did-
taking one side or the other.
Yeah, which that did get into with the
who
whole
watches this,
feeling alienated.
listen, okay? Nobody who watches this video thinks they're the right. They're the others, okay?
Sure.
Hashtag third goose, man. I'm telling
Okay,
you.
and if
But do
all
you
of
think
the
telling people that is effective?
I changed my mind about endorsing the third goose perspective. I don't like where Denizen's going with it.
So what's the point of making? Wait, what's the point?
Where
of
am I going?
The video is it to convince people, or is it
third
to
position
only
of
give
goose?
objective facts all the time?
So first,
Yeah, it's just recognizing that the first goose is just as full of shit as the second goose, and you should probably chill, be humble, and not assume that you
Denison,
know
do
every
believe in
fucking thing.
objective reality?
The video is entirely.
Yeah,
about
but I
how hard
doubt
it
my
is.
ability to discern it
Do you
from
know
my
what-
subjective bullshit.
No,
You know what
none of you are literally.
And then when I look at other people, I have even increased doubts about it.
So you probably don't know what the scientific method is then.
literally none of you are engaging.
Sure, I do.
Oh, okay.
I'm so.
Do you have any like improvements you would make to it, or do you think you just need to trash the whole thing? You have a better solution? Oh wait, no, you don't. That's interesting.
I've never criticized the scientific method.
Well, there are people then who have a grasp on objective reality. They're scientists.
They're constantly proving themselves wrong with their own methods. So,
Critical thinking. You should be doing that to yourself as well.
of course, it just goes to show that just when you think you have objective reality figured out, you don't.
Well, we don't think we've had it figured out. We're constantly trying to have a better understanding of it, right?
Yeah. So, where is this in contention with anything I've said in the last 5 minutes?
That there are in fact people who are the goose on the left.
Every single fucking person is the goose on the
No, yeah, I just told you there are, but
And
that
there are some people who are objectively right about thinking that they are,
and the goose on the left is objectively wrong sometimes.
No, I'm not saying
Sometimes, but not
I'm
always.
not saying objectively. I'm saying people's internal perception, their subjective perceptions is every single person's subjective perception is they're the goose on the left.
Okay, neat. Like I don't know what else to tell you other than like these are just things that you don't really have as much control over as you think you do. Like
Jesus Christ, what is my issue with
as Effigy pointed out, that's not the through line of the story. So the whole point of telling the story isn't to talk about objective truth. It's to talk about
something strangely telling about all this.
Mel, what is my problem I have with it?
It's about something that's irrelevant to the story itself.
What is my problem with the video?
Why am I saying that's irrelevant to the story itself? Can you steal person my
At
argument?
this point, it just seems like your problem is that the video asserts objective reality or objective truth exists. Like that seems to be your problem, or that we can actually learn it.
Wait, I think Fuzzy.
No,
Hang on.
it said it's one goose that always gets objective truth, and the other
Wait.
one is the crazy one.
That is not implied in the video at all.
Wait. Okay. Everyone quiet. I want to read Fuzzy B's comment. I think it's a great comment. Fuzzy says, "Can we learn how the two geese aren't the point in the video, and they at any given moment we can all, except Ryan, obviously, be either goose."
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Mel, you agree
the point of
you
video
agree
that we can be
you-
any of the geese.
You agree there's an objective reality that people concern, right?
Wait, what?
You believe that there's an objective reality that people
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Okay, Effigy, you just disagreed with that statement. Did you not?
No, what do you mean? No, we live in reality. Objective truth is reality.
Wait, hang on. I have an objective truth to share. The objective truth is the Elite Eater has donated $5 to say, what if the smart, nerdy emoji goose is on the mid-right of the political horseshoe, and the goose that is not listening is on the far left? Could be interpreted that way.
Yeah, nobody argued that.
Thank you. Thank you, Elite Eater.
As we said, you can be any goose in these scenarios at any time.
Yes,
it's not implying that someone is one kind of goose all the time. No, you can be all the geese, Ryan. All the geese.
I am the Omni Goose.
No, first off, I actually disagree with that because the dichotomy of the video literally separates it as two different types of geese. There is literally goose and other goose. That's literally
and it leaves the objective reality example behind and goes into comparisons of geese with beliefs.
Yeah.
Like you didn't pay attention to that video at all, dude.
Like remember the part where he talked about like people
What an asinine assertion.
who might believe in conspiracies, right? Like there's obviously talking about a small sample of humanity or a small subsection of humanity. And so you can't use like I don't think the video is like that even that beginning dichotomy is meant to talk about like this is every scenario or this is always going to be the case. It's more that the more somebody's entrenched in their beliefs, the more likely you are to be the person who's trying to provide facts to them.
Okay, let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay, when the video is playing, I'm gonna rewatch it here. When it says Goose, who has the facts and everything, and then there's this other Goose who doesn't have.
That's creating a character.
I'm like literally I'm trying to just explain my position.
And I can explain to you already. You don't need to even ask me. That's creating a character, two characters with two differences, right? And a reason for them to interact. One has beliefs and the other has facts. And yeah, not all beliefs are anti-factual. Not all facts are anti-belief. But it's not saying that. It's setting up characters to use as a storytelling device as with the through line that Effigy pointed out, which is about what it means for that goose to have a belief.
Yeah. There's the fact-based goose and there's the belief-based goose. And wow, I imagine the fact that the belief-based
it doesn't rely on what you're saying it does, though. It doesn't rely on just the dichotomy. It moves forward as if the dichotomy doesn't matter.
Am I good to go? Am I good to say my position without you or anything? Or?
Yeah, well, only the first point I think out of the 3 or 4 was about the fact versus belief. And then it became about how hard it is to change your mind. But
I just hope you can allow me to just state my position. Okay, my
I think
position
you've been
is
stating there for a bit
without interruption. Sorry, I thought that was obvious, but I clearly should have specified.
Well, how much mental gymnastics do we need to understand this? Because from our end, it's very little.
Well, apparently that means that you need a little bit of mental gymnastics in order to understand my position. So
you're gonna have to teach me something new, which is rare in these spaces. So have fun.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
Which goose do you sound like right now, Mel?
The left side goose. So at least I'm self-aware.
Thank you for at least proving my position in real time.
Well, before you start, can you tell me the difference between a fact and a belief?
I would say a fact is something that comports to reality. A belief is something where you think about a fact according to reality.
Yeah, close enough, yeah. So a belief is just you taking something to be true. A fact is
you believe that a fact is true. You believe that a thing is a fact. Is essentially what I would say.
So functionally, they're the same.
No.
So you believe that somebody who has a belief that contradicts fact ought to change their mind, though, right?
I mean, I believe that everyone should have beliefs in things that are true. So, and by that, yeah. So
but I have another question. So I'm just let me.
Yeah.
So doesn't it make sense then to understand why even if you present someone with a fact, they might not still believe it?
Yeah, it's totally understandable. Yeah.
That's the point of this video.
God damn it! You guys just don't fucking listen to me.
Because I think you're trying to take this into an abstract dimension that the video isn't meant to be.
I'm talking about the presentation of the video. That's what I'm talking about.
There's more to it than just the first point, which is what Effigy keeps pointing out.
I'm saying the first point primes everyone for the rest of the video. Is that another?
That would matter.
Yeah, that would matter. Yeah, that would matter. It would matter quite a bit, right?
This is a contingency. That would matter if the rest of the video relied on that point being true.
No, not at all.
It just has to be.
The priming of the video sets a standard for the interpretation of the rest of the video. So even if
I create a character,
hold on.
Let
me finish my thought.
Jack,
I don't even know anybody would argue with you about this.
Let me just finish my
thought. If I create a character,
I was in the middle of a thought. I don't know why you're interrupting me. I was in the middle of a thought.
Jack never existed, and no beanstalk ever climbed.
Yeah, you got it.
Beanstalks still exist.
I don't even know. I was trying to say my point that I was still saying when you interrupted me, so I didn't hear your point. So
yeah, I'm trying to.
What are y'all arguing about? What are y'all arguing about?
The purported media layers and meta analyzing things to the point where the actual meaning of the video itself becomes totally meaningless.
No. That's
okay. That's multifaceted. So what's your point?
Interpretation. That's a bad faith interpretation. But what I'm saying is that the fact that the media layer of interpretation makes the point of the video meaningless because people will not interpret it or accept it that way.
I think anyone who's tried to present facts to somebody who just wants to stick to their beliefs will be convinced by that video.
Mel, you're literally just not even understanding.
You're identifying with the goose on the left.
She's right, though. She's right.
I don't disagree. I agree with Mel, but Mel's not listening to the point.
It's kind of the point that he's making.
The point I'm making is totally.
Go ahead.
I can't go ahead. I can't go ahead. Mel.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear your point.
I understand you want to hear my point. Mel doesn't want to hear. I'm just trying to fucking explain.
Mel, let me hear his point.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we would
Shut
all
up, Mel.
agree.
I want to hear his point.
I think we would all agree here, okay? Because Mel, I don't think we disagree about 99% of the things here, okay? I think there's just like 1%, but like the 1% matters. I think we would all agree that the initial framing, the first 10 seconds of a video, if you want to put it that way, that's going to frame people in a very specific way a lot of the time. And they're going to view the rest of the video through that frame. Even if the rest of the video doesn't really engage the same way about that frame. It's still going to be interpreted or understood through that lens. Yes, no. All I want to is like a yes, no.
It does that when it talks about the goose with the beliefs.
Oh my god. Well, sorry. I was being. Sorry. I was being too negative there. What do you mean?
Getting so circular. Do you not believe that there are times when facts come into contention with belief?
I was about to say something. Shut up. There's a thing about meta-analysis in media where you can literally weigh things however the fuck you want because it's in a virtual space, right? And when you weigh the wrong things, you don't analyze it properly. And all I think you're doing here is you're weighing the goose that doesn't matter to the point of the rest of the story as much as the goose that does.
No, I totally
whatever.
Understand.
Okay, fine.
Hold on.
Take control.
Hold on. Let me just. I was gonna say. I genuinely agree with you. I actually do genuinely agree with the vast majority of what you're saying. I think you're downplaying the initial framing. That's the problem I'm having. Like,
because it can be, as we pointed out, it never goes back to that. It never relies on that at any other point in the video.
I'm not.
If it did rely on it, then I would agree with you. It's that simple.
Mentions the other goose several times.
And Mel, the problem that I
have, even as you're disagreeing with him, you're describing it from the perspective of being one of the geese.
Was it telling the story about the goose on the left or the goose on the right?
The goose on the right.
Thank you.
Mel, you're missing my entire fucking point.
From the perspective of the goose on the left, who you identify with.
She's not necessarily missing your point. She's not necessarily missing your point. She thinks it's good if it goes her way.
The fuck? We said at the very beginning of this conversation that we think that it is set up for you can be any goose. Like, stop fucking focusing on just one. We've already said that. We said that at the very beginning.
You are literally missing the entire point. You're literally missing the entire.
You have made no point that is cogent.
No, FG, I understand that. I understand that because you're not understanding the cogent point. That's the problem. You're not understanding the cogent point. That's why you think there's no point being made because you don't get it. That's why.
Concisely summarize what you have been trying to get to us for like an hour.
Okay, I'll repeat myself for the 7th time. Okay, the point that I'm making is that the initial framing sets this up as this. There's this perfectly rational, totally understanding goose that everyone will initially identify with, and then it separates it. It makes the adversary this other goose, the other goose that is irrational, believes things based off of purely feeling.
Can I stop you there?
Go for it.
Okay. I think you're completely. Shut the fuck up, Growling Arachnid. I think you are completely wrong because the entire point is that sometimes objective facts come into conflict with beliefs.
I'm not even
You're focusing on the geese rather than the idea that it's actually setting up.
Effigy?
What happens if both sides
I don't see how that contradicts what you just said.
What happens if both sides believe that true? Though, like, I'm the objective.
Can you not explain how it contradicts? Because so far you haven't actually explained a contradiction. You've just hyper focused on something that you don't seem to understand as merely being a storytelling device.
Well, Jesus fucking Christ! You're using this magic word, storytelling device, as if it.
Yeah.
It
so if I want to tell a story,
I don't know. I'm just literally in the middle of saying my point. But okay.
If I want to tell a story about something historically that did happen, but with fictional characters. Does that change the accuracy of the things that did happen?
I mean, literally,
yes.
It literally depends on what you mean by that. But like you're missing
the Titanic, for example.
Literally missing the entire fucking point.
The ship was very historically accurate. They didn't have to do anything about that, right? The whole point of what I'm saying is you can use things that don't necessarily need to exist in perfect reality to describe things that exist in reality by conjuring up characters that represent complex dynamic in a simplified way, because not everything is as simple as it would be to say something expediently. This person,
why would you do that though?
Because this person is a media personality. They're a content creator. They're trying to make 10-minute videos that explain complex dynamics to people who've never encountered any of the science behind this complex dynamics before.
Quick fact check. The video was only 4 minutes long. Mel, get it right.
Even better for my point. So he has to condense things and condense them into storytelling devices, fictional, well, maybe not even fictional, but just abstract narratives that don't necessarily purport to the reality itself, but that gives us some sort of guidance, much like how
guidance framing, you mean?
Yeah, much like how stories can guide us about morality or ethics, even if they're not real.
Are you done?
Sure.
I don't disagree with a single thing you just said. Okay. I don't. I've literally not.
If there is anything to disagree on.
There is, because you don't agree with the fact that the first fucking framing position that a video can have can bias everyone to the fucking rest of the video. That's the entire problem I have. The initial point of the video, it sets up this perfectly rational turtle or fucking
so take away the gooses. Take away the geese, right?
No,
they should have been turtles, though. Honestly, that's way better. That's way better.
It sets up this. Hey, listen. You know, there are some perfectly rational geese people that accept facts, look at them, review them, whatever. And then, which every single fucking person is going to implicitly associate with themselves. Because every person...
Is that the group of people that this video is about?
I don't give it. You're just not even listening to what the fuck I'm saying.
Well, it would have to be for what you're saying to make sense.
No,
but it wasn't
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It wasn't about... it wasn't about the people who would be an exception. It was taking the more extreme example of conspiracy believers and explaining how they get kind of locked into echo chambers and stuff like that to quickly and expediently gloss over these topics for somebody who's encountering these subjects for the first time.
Cool. You just literally added to my point, by the way. But okay.
Well, what else do you think is happening here? Like, we're giving you actual lens of media analysis that you can use to analyze this thing, and you're just like, this thing didn't say what I wanted it to. Okay, well, make your own video and make it better. Show us how it's done, buddy.
Okay, you understand that's not a response to my position.
I know it's not, but you're not really giving that much of a response
at least you do understand that
we've been circling the drain.
You're lying me right now, right? At least you understand that. So no, we've been.
You're the one saying that because the video says that someone can know an objective fact, that they are assuming that the person that can know an objective fact is some kind of mythical perfect rationality proxy, right?
What?
Like, it doesn't imply that at all. Think people can know objective facts. Like, that's all it's saying. Person who knows an objective fact can come into conflict with a person with a belief. Like, that's what it's saying.
When we teach science to first graders, and we teach them, or not first graders, but for like the first year that we actually teach science as a separate class, and we teach them like about bonding and stuff. We don't tell them about like electron probability densities or orbital wave theory or anything like that, right? We just teach them there's covalent and ionic bonds and all this stuff, because that's easier for them to grasp when they're first encountering this new information. We simplify things. That's all you're getting mad at, is the fact that there's a simplification here that doesn't even rely on to tell the rest of the story.
No, I legit don't understand. You're just not listening to the words I'm saying? You're not even. Can't
listen
even
to the words wait. Listen to the words I'm saying. Okay, we did not meet the goal, and I didn't shill because I am kind of tired and
it's your fault.
in circles. I did it intentionally, so I am gonna let you all give a closing statement before I boot you all.
Damn it. Okay, I'll donate you $1. Right? Where are you, Ryan?
No, it's too late. It's too late.
All right, okay.
It's gotta be $5 minimum to keep the show going.
All right. So I'll say this, okay?
No, pony up, or you can't fucking say another word.
No, you go ahead, David.
Okay. Mel and Effigy, you are literally just not engaging with anything that I'm fucking saying here, okay? I'm not disagreeing over anything essentially that you say. All I'm saying is, I'm disagreeing about the person, the video. I'm not disagreeing about any of that. All I'm saying is that if you are some layperson who starts watching this video, and the first thing they're presented with is, there is this perfectly rational.
Stop saying perfectly rational.
Holy shit! What I mean by that is, there's this individual who uses facts and logic and reason, and they come to this reasoned position based off the fact that they're using facts. And then there's this other. And just so we know, every single person is going to believe themselves to be the turtle. Oh, sorry, not the turtle. What the fuck? Whatever the animal is, okay? What's the animal?
The first goose.
The geek goose.
The goose. Yeah, okay. Everyone's going to see themselves as the first goose, okay? The goose that uses facts, the goose that uses logic, the goose that uses reason. And they're going to immediately associate with themselves with that goose. And then it says, but there's this other goose.
That goose is MAGA.
Yeah. There's this other goose
real,
that uses...
Are you sure you're not just taking it personally? That, like, you're worried about the other goose being you, so you're trying to debunk the first goose to make yourself feel better about the second goose? Sorry, we're doing endings. I forgot there.
Yeah, you can address that in your closing statement, Mel. Go ahead, Latavian, finish. Land your plane.
Yeah. So the fact that they get immediately juxtaposed, because I don't know how anyone disagrees with the fact that any individual person is going to see themselves as rational, as fact-based. They're going to associate themselves with the very explicitly fact-based group. And so
most people, yeah.
And so in everyone else who's in the other goose category of the not rational, the not fact-based, the supercharged emotion-based reasoning, they're going to view their political enemies. They're going to view the liberals if they're conservatives. They're going to view the conservatives as the liberals. They're going to view both if they're, or really just the liberals if they're leftists, right? And they're going to see themselves implicitly as the fact-based one. And then everything about this video, which I think accurately describes everybody, everything about this video describes how people fall into implicit bias, fall into emotional reasoning, fall into everything. But the problem I have with the video is it sets up an initial dichotomy between that there exists this perfectly rational...
we don't even have a destination.
Alright, you know what? Okay, you got it. I'm good. Alright, yeah, I'm good.
Well,
Yeah,
Davian,
I'll try to be
thank you for
quick.
joining us.
Oh, okay, well, this was all for him, but I feel like Effigy and I use like realistic and even you could argue like historical methods for storytelling to understand the structure of this, which is how actual media analysis professors would do it. By the way, if they taught you how to do a media analysis. So I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but if you are going to analyze media, you can't just use preference, especially not nebulous preferences like I feel like Let was using. And I am going to call him Let for short because his name is difficult to say for me. And I hope he doesn't take offense to that. But if he says not to, then I won't. The second point is most people aren't autistic like us, right? They actually don't think of themselves as like, oh, I have every fact, but they've been in the position where they've had a crazy aunt or uncle who, or maybe not crazy, but who believes in conspiracies. And part of this is that is explained that they're not just crazy, right? But who believe, or that they don't just hate facts either. But, and so it's not for the people who care about like who has the objective truth and who doesn't. It's for, and this is again, who are you making the media for as a part of media analysis? It's for the people who are frustrated with their goddamn aunts and uncles for not receiving the facts that they gave in the softest way imaginable, you know, like, oh, don't you think it's more reasonable to maybe like look at this and blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, no, blah, blah, blah. Right. Like, how dare you assume that? And they're like, why? This doesn't make sense to me because I'm not used to debating people. And this helps ease their mind. And I don't know how else to explain it to somebody other than that, because I don't think it goes any deeper than that even. But anyways, thanks for having me, Ryan. It's been an interesting night and it's good to be back. So
always
have
a
good
pleasure,
one.
Mel. Take care. You can fight over who goes first.
What are we doing?
Closing statements.
Third goose don't honk. Third goose listen.
Yes, Denizen was the third goose.
There you go.
Boy, it's crazy that the most intense debate of the entire day was over a goose cartoon. Like this idea that the first goose had to be perfectly rational is so fucking stupid. That's the whole point of objective facts, is that we all agree upon it. It's a plethora of people agreeing that you don't have to have a perfect goose. And the premise of the entire thing, the starting premise, and maybe this is what pisses him off, the starting premise is that that first goose is right, the second goose is wrong. It's about an incorrect belief. Like from the get-go, it's about a correct fact and an incorrect belief. So it doesn't matter about it could be the first goose believes that you can burn your finger when you get it over a flame and the second one doesn't, right? It's not as deep as you're fucking thinking. So boy, that was wild. That was hitting our heads into a brick wall for a while. But thanks for having me, Ryan. Always a pleasure to be on the channel. Always cool to hang out.
Yeah, for
everybody
sure.
Have a great night.
Be safe, buddy. Can we debate Imperial versus Metric next? He'll take Imperial. We'll think about it. We do have a system where, in the future, if you donate to the stream during the conversation, you can in fact select the topic. So if you donate money during the panel, you can tell us for $1 a minute, basically, more or less, with my own discretion. We can change the topic to whatever you want it to be. So if you want to make the panel debate Imperial versus Metric systems, and you want to hop up on and take the Imperial position, you now know how you can make sure that happens. Catherine now has a black name, which is a microaggression, as we learned. Martic is universal racist. Okay. Yes, you can Google hex color codes. I also have an app that you can use. Oh, sorry. Let me post that again. You can use this to pick whatever color you want. And it'll give you the hex code. Angry. Secrets. Okay. I have a very sleepy dog on my lap and a very sleepy boy holding him in his lap. You know the drill, though. Support the stream. Support the dream. Why is Latavian, I'm still streaming. Why are you calling me before the stream is not over? Are you trying to come on stream? Are you trying to... Oh, he said call me after your stream. Oh my god. Maybe. I just leaked our secret DMs. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you know the drill. If you want to support the stream, support the dream, and support the ween, you can do so through super chats, through memberships, through super thanks as well. So if you're ever watching a stream after the fact, if you're ever watching the stream after, or you just like scroll past one of my videos and you're like, hey, man, I just got paid and I want to support Ryan, and I can do that right now. There are super thanks. Also, Cash App. Love getting Cash Apps. Please support me through whatever means you can, even if it's just your thumbs. I appreciate those as well. So does Umbreon. Oh, look at that yawn. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep, Growling. I let everyone have a closing statement before. Yes, everyone give me money, please. And I will spend your money probably on my date on Sunday, because I'm going on a date Sunday. So give me money so I can... and Umbreon's coming on the date, so that'll be fun. So buy Umbreon a beer. I'm currently sleeping and streaming. True. All right, we'll probably do close, Catherine. You have to, if you yeah, I know. Ooh la la. Should watch Love Is Blind, maybe. Is that a shock color on Umbreon? Embryon. It's Umbreon. And Catherine, this only works if you don't put other text after it. I need to fix that. That's another bug, I guess, in the system, or a limitation of the system. But if you write it without "Thank you, Ryan," it will work. But thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. Maybe I will watch Love Is Blind. Can we put a shock collar on Ryan? You're gonna have to pay a lot more than a few dollars for that. Maybe I will. Yeah, let me know when you guys are watching it. Yards, miles, skip a few AU light years. Human bug. Wiener dog. Are you a wiener? I don't think you should take pointers from it. I'm not worried. Unlike many of these, dating show hosts like Myron or Brian, and these fucking weirdo freaks who have never been in a relationship, never dated a girl. I myself have actually been in relationships before. I have flirted with girls before. I've gone on dates before. This is not my first rodeo, okay? I think I'll be okay. Radical dating, yeah. All right, I love you guys. Let's see. Is there anybody cool streaming right now that I can send you guys to? Oh, but boy, the boy, he's so sad. We'll probably do a morning stream. So I'll probably be up in just a few hours, going live again. But not for a whole day because I think I'm going to lunch tomorrow or today also. For separate things. Oh, Kel's still alive. Okay. Tell Kel learning is radical. Excuse me. Watched it with ill logics. Love logics. Good dude. Yes, thank you, Fluzzy. Do you think the whole universe revolves around you because you have 10 fingers? Yes. Okay. Drink some water, get some sleep. I will see you guys in the morning, even though it's kind of morning now. Okay, bye.